Right, hello people. Yes, I'm a bit late. I've got to send out an invite to somebody because I was eating my tea and I don't really like stuffing my face in front of the camera. So I'm going to quickly send out this invite because it's important. Because Jackie's a spanner as usual. Right, back online. But I hope everybody's okay. And we do have a special guest coming on. Hello, Mick Spanner. Hello, Sue Lindsay. Hello, Andrea. So hope everybody's okay. So let me just do this. Yes. And then I'll just send this invite to my friend because it's actually somebody that I know. Hello, Philip. Hello, Dazzy. Your gift is getting sent out tomorrow, and I can't remember who the other person is, but I have written on the box, and the boxes are completely sorted out. Right, let me just sort this malarkey out because Jackie is a spanner. Shh, and don't agree with me. Come on, right. Invite guests. Because Jackie is a spanner. Jackie is a spanner. Hope everybody's doing okay. It's cooler today, isn't it? Right, I'm going to send this out. I was actually watching what the fudge was it called now? UK cop. Oh, UK police something. And he goes around and he just basically relays everything that's meant to be the law and how these police, half of them don't even know what the law is. Yet they think they're above the law because they've got a badge. And it's just like, yeah. Let me just... with a fudge. So hopefully he will be here. Now, let me just do this because, like I said, I'm being a spanner today. Been slow. So, yeah. Drop this in here for them. Still a little bit on the toasty side. Whew. I'm going to send it out to a few other people as well. So, oh, fudgety fudge. We'll try and keep behind this. Hello, Charles. You all right? Just waiting for this bearded dragon to get out. She's coming. So we may get joined by a certain someone tonight, but it depends on if he's there in time. I've got to send him the link too because I have to. Right, let's see. Oh, I've left my bloody phone upstairs. What a pleb. Hello, Kitty. Hope you're okay, dear. If at any chance anytime you'd like to come on, I can always send you the link. I've got you on Discord, so you're safe. Because we don't want any Muppets coming on. And I'm not talking about the ones by, yeah. I'm here this time. Yay! Yes, you are. I was late for a change. Usually I'm on time. But I was like, as soon as I got downstairs, I'm like, oh. But I don't know. Sometimes I'll eat the food in front of the TV in the computer. Yeah, I like the Muppets as well. Hello, Barry. So I'm going to send out some more links. Why is my phone being stupid? It's going to go through the window in a minute. I'm definitely going through the window. Let's see. Yeah, I didn't really post out as much, and I normally do. Don't know, it's been one of them days, I think. You get up and then everything just goes out the window. That's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. So, who watched the pigeon video? We got Andrea. Please smash the like button, please. Make sure he's got it. Yes, right. Yep, Freebird. Woohoo! Yep, they were brilliant. I was very, very pleased. That went really, really well. Let's send this to this numpty if he's alive and well. Right. Let me just sort this malarkey out. God, you look very, very grayscale.
No, my colour's gone on my camera, and I ain't got any money to buy new ones, so it's tough.
Might have a spare one somewhere. I may have. I'll have to have a little look for that. I was going to say, hang on a minute, you don't look too well. So I've got a few people in at the moment. I'm trying to send it out. It's not that I don't know. I don't like eating in front of the camera. I do sometimes, but not very often. So I was sat upstairs and I was watching one of them. I think it's UK Cop or something. I was watching. What was it now? Oh, I'll find it in a minute. UK Cop Hunter. Because I like watching things like that. There used to be another one I used to watch, but he got booted up. They had a lot of complaints. Obviously, they know all the law, the ins and outs, but obviously a lot of these coppers don't like it. Muppets. But I do. I love watching stuff like that, especially when they try and harass people. Like, oh yeah, well, what's your information? And it's like, well, if they've not done anything wrong, they're not obliged to give it. But not everybody knows that.
So let's get right into it. So you like ghost hunting and all that lot. So I mean, I'm not really an open-minded person, Jackie. I'm not. So we went to the girlfriend I was with at the time, Tracy. She liked to do it. So we went to Sheffield, and it was a museum for a fire station, something like that. I've been trying to find the location. I can't remember, but 2009, 2015 or something like that. And so I knew where we were going. So you can imagine, I'm a Trekkie. I had a light on my wrist. I had an headband torch. I had extra battery packs around me. I did look like ghost hunter. I practically did. I didn't have a gun, but I looked like a ghost hunter. And I wasn't really open-minded all night. But towards the end of the night, in one of the higher floors, and the flooring was like slabbed concrete, but it's not smooth, it's uneven, like you were out like cobbled road, but bigger slabs, and it were uneven. And there was a little table, and there was 4 people around the table. They had to put their hands on the table,
like table tipping.
Yes, table tipping.
Yeah.
Table tipping. And I'll never forget this. I'm a very logical person, me. And I leant down, so I wasn't sitting down. I leant down to this table. I put my hands on it.
You're pretty tall, so there you go.
and I tried. I was on one of the corners with a leg.
Yes.
And because the floor was uneven,
yes.
I could not push that leg down to touch the
floor.
The floor. And it were mad because I was in the position where if I should have put some weight on, no matter who were on the other side, it should have gone down. And it never. And it really freaked me out, that. It really freaked me out. You know, and like I said, I'm not open-minded to ghosts or anything. I'm dead logical, me. But it really did freak me out. And I'm not saying I'm a believer, but there is other forces working.
Yes, definitely. Oh, yeah, definitely. So I'm just going to say hello to Susan, and who else came in? Tom on a mission. Hello. Hope everybody's okay. So yeah, keep smashing that like button, otherwise there'll be trouble. Oh, we've experienced things. There is actual videos that we've done on it, so there's a bit of some weird. Right, here we go. You're getting asked some questions. So Tom on a mission. Yeah, let's show you. There you go. It says.
Well, I mean, maybe not ghosts, but there is other things in the universe, and we're just not clever enough. We're not advanced enough to understand them. And even though it might look like magic to us, it probably can be explained with science. But we're not that technologically advanced yet. You know, we don't know. But that's how I think of things. Not so much like ghosts and stuff like that, but things can be explained. And how do I know this? Because 100 years ago, some of the things we do now, it would have freaked people out, and they would have been running for the life. We had the witch trials. Witch trials, and that wasn't anything abnormal. That were people being freaked out by things that they didn't understand.
Yeah.
So that's human development. But I'm a very logical person, me. Very logical.
All right. He's on about, he says, nah, mate, I meant like Delta Force and SBS. So you must be referring to something else. I think because obviously you're on the political side as well as...
Delta Force? What does it mean by that?
I do not know. What do you mean, Tom? And hello, Safari. Oh, my internet's being an ass. I'm going to go beat Simon up.
If you mean shady organisations like the Illuminati and the Freemasons and all that lot, you know, like, are they, you know, do you mean satanic things and stuff like that? Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Like, sort of like...
You'll have to send us a story, Susan, please, because you've got me on Facebook Messenger. So send us. Hello, Mick Spanner. Hope you're all right, dude. What? What's I going to say now? Right, introduce yourself anyway. So, because you just went straight about ghost hunting as well.
My name's John Lawerence. I'm born and bred in Oldham, and I'm on a political scene. I want to run as a local councillor. The area I'm targeting is Hollingwood in Oldham. My party that we've registered with the Electoral Commission is the National Housing Party, United Kingdom. And we've run several elections in various places across the country, and we've done okay. You know what I mean? We've done as well as we can. And I'm confident of getting a local council seat in Oldham. And I only have to say Oldham, and it's been in the news. The newspapers would say it's one of the most deprived towns in the United Kingdom. It's also a very multicultural town, very politically correct, and stuff like that. And I'm just well versed in things in Oldham, from the schools to the estates and stuff like that. And that's what I'm into. We've had the party running for 3 years. And I mean, the website's National Housing Party United Kingdom. If you search up that .uk, you'll find it somewhere. And I will put the link in the chat, actually, when I can.
Yeah, hang on a minute, because I'll have to moderate you. And people stop sending their bloody alerts. Right, just throw something in chat now, and then I'll do it on the phone. Forgot you can't do it on that, because it's an So let me come off this and do it. I don't care. Bloody silly thing. You get so many bloody alerts. It's like, yeah.
Do we have to go on YouTube? I might have to...
No. Right, you do it for your phone. Just right, do me a favor, right? On the computer, just write anything, just say hi or something like that, and then I'll moderate you.
Right.
There we go. I can see you. Right. Sorted. So when you write anything, you'll be up in blue, so be able to put links in now. So who else is coming? Hello, Adrian, Tony, and I'm sure I've seen somebody else who came in. Jackie's losing the plot. Yeah, the fudge. Sure, I've seen somebody else coming in. Richard. Hope you're all okay. Oh, thanks, Philip. Yeah. Oh, your baby goldfinch. Cool. Oh, yeah, because you're cats. Your cats, and then you've got loads of spiders. Could I be a mod again? I'll think about it, Adrian, okay? I will let you know, because I've got a lot of mods. I've known this guy a long, long time. Very long time. Oh my God, yes.
So I mean, other things about me. I'm just active in Oldham, and you know, like if on the political spectrum, I'm just right. That's all I want to say. I'm not left. I have some left-leaning values in me, but I'm more right-leaning, unfortunately. And I say that, but I don't like saying it. We don't like politically correct words. We don't like.
Oh God, no.
When people call you racist, we don't like these words like anti-Semitism and Islamophobia.
Nope.
We don't like any of them. We've got a couple of articles on our panel about that because them words are bad. And why they're bad is even when you think they're good, when you use them, it makes things bad. That's all it does. It just divides communities. And there was none of this. I would say, like, when me and you knew each other when we were teenagers, there was no political correctness. Nobody got offended by what you said.
No, because everything was all in a joke, and people would laugh it off and then call you something back, and you're like, "Yeah," it's like, you know, because you're having a general laugh. And so
it's that bad in England. I can give you a particular case. Is a Native American family or couple came over to England to live in England, and they lived in Blackpool. And in one of the arcades, they seen a Cowboys and Indian game, and they complained about it. You could probably be able to get the article if you research it under that kind of things, and that is just so, you know, just ridiculous.
It is. It is ridiculous. It's really, really stupid. Cowboys and Indians. The thing is, it's not like it's any cultural thing over here. I mean, this has happened like years and years ago, all this, the Wild West and all that. And yeah, apparently people can't even dress up like that. It's like, yeah, but that's just having fun. But they've taken all the fun out of everything.
Yeah, but I mean, that fun also helps you learn. You learn about Cowboys and Indians. Then when you look into it, you'll see what it will like, and it's your decision whether you think that like they're persecuted or not. But this is how you learn about things. Now, taking that out of it, nobody will learn about Cowboys and Indians, and I will refuse ever to talk about it with young kids. I don't know anything about Cowboys and Indians because they've done that. So then people aren't learning about things around the world because they can't say it. They know they can't talk about it, and it silences them. It's just wrong. It's just wrong.
Very, very true. Right, Tom on a mission. Could you share your views on Oldham's supermarkets?
What supermarkets?
Yeah, as regarding what, Tom?
Oldham, the Oldham. Like I said, anyone who's lived in Oldham. 25 years ago, we had the most vibrant nightlife in the north of England.
Yeah.
The next place other than us was like Leeds, but Oldham was a fantastic place for that night. It's all gone. There's no shops really. The market's being shut down now, and they're all moving into the spindles. The rates on the buildings when you're renting them are too high. Me and Jackie know somebody who is currently in legal battle with the council over this kind of thing. And,
because they're useless. That's why.
It's ridiculous. It's been reduced, and anybody, like I said, I can say that confidently, factually, that's what it was like 25 years ago. And because that nightlife, the market was good, everything was good. It's all gone, guys. It's all gone. I live near the town centre. It's all gone.
Yeah, because even the outside market were brilliant. I used to love going on there. Go on the Sunday, and it was all like the car boot sales. Bloody hell, I was coming home with bargains. And nowadays it's like, nope, nothing. It's rubbish. I don't even go anywhere near the market now.
You mentioned something earlier on, Jackie, like takeaways. So
yes,
one weekend I did a quick recce. Rachel Reeves says we've got to save tax money and all that. So I did a quick recce, and I said there's 50 chicken shop, restaurant, curry houses type things in the town centre, as well as maybe 10 to 15 like shops that sell cigarettes and stuff like that.
Or the vapes, yeah.
And on conservative estimate, I said there's 3 people who work serving and 2 people who deliver who work outside. So that's 5 people, and that's conservative. Some of them restaurants have and takeaways have 10 people. Are you telling me all them are paying tax and they're on the books?
Yeah. Nope.
And you've heard it. You've heard the stories of the barbers that has 1 customer a day, yeah, and earns like 30 grand a month. You know, it's just so corrupt. Everything is corrupting. And I've walked around and I've talked. This is what I've walked around the town centre and I do this. The council hate me because I do everything on social media. Some of my YouTube shorts have had like hundreds of thousands of views, if not millions. And I really call them out and put pressure on them. So let's look at the chat. Let's look at Tony Komsky there. Right? Let's say Tony, for an example, is that he knows everything about house building and land and all that lot. Let's say Sue Linds is a school governor, so she knows her shit about schools. Let's say Philip Fish 50, he's like a local shop owner for like say 40, 50 years. You're the people that we need on the council, guys. You're the people we need on the council. At the moment, we have box tickers on the council, and I'll be absolutely blunt. A box ticker who has no experience on the council can be a woman, an ethnic minority, LGBT, and these get places on the council because they're that, not because they can do the job, because they're a box ticker. And I'll say it straight, people don't like it, but that's what the world is. That's what our council is full of box tickers.
Yeah, and half of them can't even do the bloody job, and they don't know what they're saying half the time. I've noticed that a lot.
Kitty, you need proper people that have lived. Yeah, exactly, Kitty. Like I said, you've been a school governor for 30 years of your life. You know everything about the junior school and the infant school. I want you on that council. That's where I want you, Kitty. You know what I mean? I don't want an LGBT box ticker who's like 25, who hasn't had no experience. I'm sorry. I have to be blunt, guys. And I know a lot of people might be slightly offended, but that's what I'm going to say. That's what I'm going to say.
Right. Okay, Adrian, I've added you, but you're a counsellor. A counsellor regarding what?
No, I'm not a counsellor. Yeah,
not you. No, I'm talking about Adrian. He's actually in the chat because I know
right.
He's a farmer as well. Because obviously farmers are getting screwed over as well, aren't they? Or the inheritance tax.
I've got a good couple of friends of mine. One of them's a veteran, 2 para. They own a farm in Bath, so I spend a lot of time down there. So there's people in the area who run farms and stuff like that. And honestly, I get it. And we're obviously, as we are as a party, we do back British farming and farmers. Simple as. It'll come before any processed rubbish or anything like that from Europe or the world. We back British farmers.
Yes. Hi, Dave. Pain in the ass.
Parish councillor, good position if you want to start into counselling. You do the parish council first. I'm running for like local government councillor, Bit of a step, but we, you know, if we are planning hopefully to get a couple of parish councillors on board. It's good experience. It's really good experience, and it's a good step to get in to be on the main run. But yeah, well done, whoever's that parish councillor.
Yeah, Adrian. And hi, dear. Come on, Dave. Are you coming up and being a pain in the ass like you usually are? And then I usually pick on you. My phone's been a spanner. Right, that's better. Right, got to love. Look, phone. Any more shit and you're going through the window. Right, gotta love the Chinsel. They were the only ethnic minority to stay in the Northern Ireland during the Troubles. Rob, because the paramilitaries would miss their gravy chips. Dazzy, you're a nutcase.
But I mean, we're all adults, and I'm guessing a lot of people are over 30. So, statistically, and this is roughly correct, but you know, you can get roughly correct. So, like starting in the Windrush days and onwards, if we work it out, 40 to 50,000 people a year came to this country. I know people left. A lot of them come from Commonwealth countries. Jamaica, my dad is one of them, Windrush generation. Indians, Pakistanis, Bengalis, Polish, Ukrainians. Oldham's big on Paul. A lot of people, even though they don't realise it, have Polish and Ukrainian blood in them.
Yes.
In Oldham, a lot of people I know of. And
Polish
it was 40 to 50,000, but last year, I think we went 750,000 last year or more. National Housing Party. Now, even though Maggie put houses up for sale to the normal people, the big failure was the councils just collected all that money and spent it on what they want. They never built houses to replace the ones that, and you know, projections and all that told everyone that we would get to this point. We knew this 20 years ago, and they haven't. They spent the money on vanity projects, getting themselves rich and stuff like that, sucking up to central government. You know what I mean? Get a few bob in the pocket. That's what they've done. And you know, you might think that I'm being blunt, but I've said this to councillors. I've said this to Andy Burnham, the Mayor of Manchester. Honestly, I've said it to chiefs of police and them in the Oldham Mayor's question time. I said to the police, it might as well be crooks and sex offenders. That's what I said. It was recorded on live. And, you know, like, I'm just telling the truth. But them immigration figures are right. I think we've had, I'm not sure if it's 750,000 last year, but it's over 500,000 people every year for the past more than 5 years. I couldn't give you exactly, and I'm sure a lot of you will agree with that. And that is too much for any country. You can see what's happening in Ireland now because of that. And, you know, like our party, we don't want to be giving out any more passports, no more refugees, asylum seekers, no more British passports given out to anybody in the world. And I don't want anyone coming here. And I'm not just picking on Africans or I don't want any Germans, I don't want any Ukrainians, I don't want anyone coming in. There's enough people in England to keep England running. Obviously, we have issues with medical and things like that. But if we trained ours properly and it cost a bit less instead of the exuberant prices you have to pay, and give them a bit more temptation to stay here, we'd have our own nurses and things like that. We wouldn't have to rely on other people. But even though the government say that we have to rely on, no, we don't. It's a bit too much of a thing with the government. We don't have to rely on outside. We should be focusing on stuff here.
So what Kitty's put says, they won't like you on YouTube because we all know the truth about the country. I watch no mainstream media. I don't either. Only independent journals like Mayor Tusi. Yeah, we watch him.
I like Mayor Tusi, but let me just tell you another thing, right? Britain isn't run by Britons,
No.
right? In the Labour Party, you have the Friends of Israel group. In the Conservative Party, you have the Friends of Israel group. Israel have donated more than £500,000 in the past couple of years to certain politicians. The Middle East, Qatar, and places like that, in the past 10 years, they've donated 3 million to our MPs. So they don't speak for the working class, they just speak for them countries. We need to be UK. We should be focusing on UK. I don't agree with war, but we shouldn't be getting involved in Israel, Middle East. Israel are only bombing Gaza because they're backed by the West. And if you look at the political status now all the Western leaders are at it. You know, we shouldn't have backed them, you know, because and they're just murdering loads of people. If I give Kitty, if I sorted Kitty out 10 grand a year, like as like favour and set her up with a nice car and all that lot, and you know, lovely, nice new designer clothes, Kitty's obviously going to do anything I say. That's exactly how simple it is.
Yeah, exactly.
How simple it is.
They're getting paid off, aren't they?
Chinese influence. A senior Labour MP 5 years ago had a Chinese spy son working for him.
I think I've heard of this.
And the EU, the members of the EU Parliament from across different countries have all been in trouble for taking backhanders off China. So we're not running the UK, somebody else is somewhere else. I don't know why people can't see that. And I'm really, you know, like, and I'm aggravated because if you've watched Glastonbury and you've seen that Bob Villain.
Oh, God, that was awful, yes.
He's shouted on stage, death to the IDF, yeah? He's not getting charged with anything, yet Lucy Connolly put a post up. She did say burn something down, but she took the post off and got 31 months. Who do this government and the police and think they are? And, like, I'm not on a very public platform. I've had a lot of public platforms. I've had millions of views. I'll give it the police over this. I go to the court cases. We've got a counsellor in London called Ricky Jones who's up for trial. And when the Southport thing went out, he did a speech and went, "All them Nazis for us." That's what he said. And he got arrested, but he got bail shortly afterwards, and he's been out on bail, and he's up next month. You know, like.
But if it was you and you're right, done it, we'd be straight handcuffs, straight inside.
Yeah, and if I'd have said that, and I am watched by a lot of people, I am prominent here and there, I'd be arrested and charged and convicted. You know what I mean? So in public meetings, I'll talk about these things. And like I said, called the police crooks and sex offenders. I've talked about honour violence and stuff like that. We had the child sexual exploitation scandal in Oldham, obviously. And in 2021, Andy Burnham come up to Oldham at the library, and I pulled him. I pulled him about political correctness, meaning upsetting minority communities. That's what I pulled him on. And it was live streamed. So, you know, that's my proof.
Yeah, it is two-tier pet policing, DR. Hello, Leah.
Hello.
Hello. You all right?
Yeah. I thought I'd pop on. I got my camera off because I just got out of the bath, but I thought I would come on because you were talking about something that I'm interested in. So.
Oh, cool, Leah. She's got a lot more animals than I have, don't you, Leah?
No, I only have a couple.
Yeah, and the bloody rest.
How many a couple?
I've lost count.
Can you tell Jackie to stop calling me an animal, please? It's not very nice.
Yeah, we have a zoo.
Terry, piddle off. Tell him I don't love him anymore.
She don't love you no more.
It's all right, nobody else does either.
I love you, shut up. He's in a bad mood.
Okay, just put him in the corner then.
He's always in a bad mood. No, I just was listening to you there talking about like the US government and all that stuff because I've been listening to a lot about that recently. Oh well, I've been listening to it for a while, but it's like I was listening to what is their name now? Sorry, Terry's telling the kids off.
Oh, okay.
I've forgotten the person's name, damn it. But they were talking about it the other day, and like the saying about the government's not being run by themselves. They're not. They're really not. They're not at all. So there's like lots of different names for it, but like the one that comes to mind is Illuminati.
Yeah. What's
Illuminati is definitely running the show. Rothschild.
Oh, yes.
And all them sort of people, they're in charge. Now, whether we like it or not, they're in charge. If you overthink it and you get too into it, you'll end up going down a massive rabbit hole and get really stressed out. It's not worth it.
Okay.
Unless everybody wakes up at the same time and understands what's going on and actually has the conversation, it's not going to get any better. It isn't going to change. And unfortunately, to get everybody to agree and not call you crazy for having this conversation is near nigh impossible.
Well, yeah. You know, you mentioned Rothschilds. It's a Jewish thing, isn't it? The Rothschild. I'm just saying. And like the Illuminati, you know, and the Freemasons and stuff like that. They are powerful people.
Yes, they
powerful, and they do pull strings. But that's one of the issues. Everyone pulls strings, and our politicians are paid by Israel. The backhanders off China. That was across Europe. That was in the papers not so long ago. Don't make these things up. That's what they were under investigation for. So that's not. It's not us. It's nobody. You know, it's someone else running our country, and I really want it us running the country. You know what I mean? I don't want a bred politician like Nigel Farage or Boris Johnson or whatever.
No, we need somebody like
from the people.
Oh Jesus, my names! I swear to God, my brain is like mush at the minute.
I'm a big fan of Andrew Bridgen. I'm a big fan of Andrew Bridgen.
I've not heard of that one.
I don't know. I'm upstairs, but I don't know whether he's bloody.
He was
I'm going to give him a pick here in a minute.
a senior MP, and he spoke out against like vax damage, and you know the way that people are treated and stuff like that, and they sort of like half cancelled him. Piers Corbyn, I'm a big fan of Piers Corbyn. He's a proper lefty, but we've interviewed him, and I've spent some time drinking with him and socialising with him, and I like him. You know, I really do. I've got some of his leaflets. I have definitely got some of his leaflets here. So I mean, even though I have like right-leaning views, I know that I've got some left-leaning views and stuff like that. But you know,
I think anybody who says they're entirely left or entirely right is completely lying.
Yeah.
I think everybody's got views on both sides, and I think that's part of the problem. It shouldn't be us versus them. It should be all of us trying to work together somehow. Like, there's my phone. Found it. Sorry. Everyone should be working together because at the end of the day, we're all one human being, right? We're all human beings. Doesn't matter what color you are, who you are, where you're from. Yeah. We're humans. If an alien race suddenly came to Earth, we would all want to stick together because we're all human.
Yep.
I think that's part of the problem, is people don't realise that we're all human. They think that we're all different, and we're not.
Yeah.
We're not.
And then they start rubbing all this thing in, saying, obviously with blacks as well, and they're trying to cause another race war, and it's like, really?
Yeah.
Oh, it's like you get
political correctness. That's from like the Marxist movement, and stuff like that, and it is used to do everything that Jackie just said: divide, put people in boxes.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as they put you in a box, it can do what you want with you.
Have you heard the ant theory?
Any trouble with like social services and police? As soon as they put you in a box, you're fucked.
Yeah.
The ant theory is, so you got the ant theory. So a scientist put black ants and red ants in a jar together.
All right.
And they were fine. They were just getting on about their life and wandering around inside the jar. and they weren't doing anything other than just wandering around. The scientist picked up the jar and shook the jar, and the ants started fighting to the death.
Ooh.
So it's the same as what happens to us. We get like drip fed these little bits of information, like when you see online, when you see like, oh, terrorist attack in London, and automatically everyone goes, oh, it was a Muslim person, and it's not always a Muslim person. Sometimes a terrorist attack is a perfectly normal white person. And they just kicked off and they lost the temper. Like the one, I think it was in Liverpool or something, and they drove into a crowd, and it was actually a British man, and he was just angry because somebody pushed in, and it was nothing to do with race.
Yeah. Can I just
the way that
weigh
they
in
worded
there? Can I just weigh in there? But
yeah.
If anybody in this chat, when that car ran into the crowd, if anybody in this chat thought it was like a terror attack, you'd be in your right mind too, because in the past, I know my facts and figures. In the past 20, since 2000, we've had 90 plus deaths to do with Islamic attacks, and in the same time, the kind of thing that went on, maybe one or two so-called like. So I don't blame anybody for thinking that was an Islamic attack.
Yeah.
Do you understand me? Statistically, and if you went to school, you learned statistics.
We are good.
I did I was good in maths, so I learned my statistics. And statistically, that you're more likely to be died or whatever in a terror attack of an Islamic attack rather than an Hindu attack or a right-wing attack or a whatever Nazi attack, whatever. I'm just saying, but that's,
but the point I was making, it was not whether or not it was actually one, it was the fact that they worded it like it was one.
Yeah.
And that's what annoyed me, but that's what I'm on about with the drip feeding. It's the same with like, I swear to God, these trans people who like rage baiting people, so like Lily Tino and all them, I swear that they're being paid off to do that.
Probably.
Because they are trying to piss people off for the trans community, and I think that's a massive problem. I think that these people do get paid off, and they get to be famous, and they're doing the opposite of what is needed to make people actually want to be be good to each other.
Yeah.
I'm a big believer in trying to be nice to people and doing what you can to help other people, and I will say a lot of the time it gets me in trouble because sometimes I overload myself or whatever, but it's one of them things. I think that if you look at it too widely, it seems like the world is at each other's throats. If you look at it on a closer thing, there's so much love in the world that can be spread, but people need to stop looking at groups as a whole and start thinking about everybody as each other. Like, do you know what I mean? Instead of just thinking, oh, that person over there is gay, I don't like them. They're still a human being. They're still a person. And like, I have no problem with people being gay. I'm bisexual myself, so it doesn't matter to me. Like, but I think people need to stop being like, oh, I'm judging that person because of this, I'm judging that person because of that, because it's not going to get you anywhere. Just judge the person on the person.
This is where it comes to boxes. Statistics again. So like the year 2000, round about that time, 50 children a year went to gender clinic, just 50 a year. That's in the thousands now in 25 years. It's all been done dead quick. And I'm 58 years old today, actually, guys. 58
His
years
birthday
old.
today, yeah.
And it was never like this before then. Everyone knew someone who was gay or whatever. Obviously it weren't so much in your face, but it was. But what you'll find now is that like the trans movement falling out with lesbians because they're saying that a lesbian should go with a man who thinks he's a woman, and they won't.
Yeah.
So that they're at each other's throats. And I don't know if you watch Posey Parker, Kelly
Sometimes, yes.
I met Kelly. We've interviewed her, and
she's only a little lady as well, isn't she?
Yeah, a couple of her demos, and there's a big part of her following are like lesbians, not trans people, just like lesbians and women.
Yeah.
And you know, that's the impression. So that's been like, it came into I missed the part when it came into school. I left before that. 83 I left school, but after that, all this kind of thing was imprinted on us, and we're all in boxes now. There's a trans box, there's a cis box, there's an ethnic minority black box, there's an ethnic minority Asian box. Everyone's in a box. When they're in boxes, they're easy to juggle around and move around and all that.
Yeah, never happened in our day, because we just all got together. We didn't care who they were, what colour they were, anything. We all just used to all hang around together, didn't we? So we didn't care. And that was like...
I think that is a lot of the problem. There is too much boxing and putting people into categories and labelling, and like, I can't say I'm 100% against the trans thing. Like, I don't believe that there is quite as many kids that need...
Yeah, exactly.
Are. I think that there is a massive thing about, what's the word I'm looking for? Like a fad, because there's a lot of famous people who are going through it, and these kids see that and they want to be like them. I don't think it should be hidden. I think kids should be allowed to like show who they are, but I think there needs to be a conversation around it, rather than being like, it's okay to be this way. Something needs to be sort of like a bit more muted with it, rather than so in the kids' faces in school.
Yeah,
whereas days where girls were tomboys. If you want to dress up in men's stuff, you're like, oh no, that one wants. They definitely want to be a guy, and it's like, well, hang on a minute.
Yeah,
just because you want to dress away doesn't mean you want to be that person.
Yeah, just maybe like they should stop making it so much like, oh, well, you're dressing as a boy, maybe you want to be a boy. Maybe they should just let the kids be and just let them. And if they want to talk about things like that, then talk to them about it, but like, and be open about it, but like, don't go to the kid and make the conversation happen. And the thing is though, like, they can't say anything about, oh, it's cool to be gay or straight or lesbian, or like, at the end of the day, if you're a lesbian, you're a lesbian. If you're gay, you're gay. If you're bi, you're bi. You can't change that. There's nothing anybody's going to be able to do to change that. Because like, I always knew I was attracted to both boys and girls, always, my whole life, since I was little. I've always known. And I think everybody does know that. Don't get me wrong, there's people who come out later on in life and they really didn't know. They just confused their feelings, but they still were. Do you know what I mean? They just didn't understand their feelings. So that's different. Whereas when it's this trans fad, like, for example, you can want to be a boy because, or a girl, say I would want to be a boy, right? Because I'm a girl at the minute. So if I wanted to be a boy, and people are like, oh yeah, you'd be really nice as a boy. Oh, I think you'd be really cool if you were a boy. Oh yeah, I think you're a boy too. And it gets in your head, then you're going to want to do it. Whereas if it's more like, oh, okay, and then leave the conversation, instead of like making it a like rewarding thing and giving that extra, I think that's where everybody's going wrong. And like, I've no problem with people who are trans. There are people who are genuinely trans, are born in the wrong body. They've got the wrong chromosomes. They've got, the chromosomes are different. There's things wrong. You know, there's people who are intersex, all that stuff. So I do believe there are people who are trans who are born in the wrong body or been made to have the wrong body. However, I think that there's too much fad going on at the minute, too much. It's cool.
So I mean, the day where my youngest, my daughter, dressed him up. She put him in a fairy costume and makeup on. Didn't mean that he wanted to be a girl. It's just she used him as a doll, and it was just a laugh. I mean, he even asked, because I used to wear black nail varnish all the time. He'd be like, "Mum, can you put some on me?" So I put it on him, and then after a while, he turned around and says, "Actually, no, I don't like it anymore." And it's like, because he got to learn. Like the youngest daughter, she wanted to play with cars. Doesn't mean she wanted to be a guy. She just wanted to play with cars. So I'd buy her toy cars. Bloody hell. One of me, I think he's 30. Michael, he wanted to, sometimes you'd see Blade Barbie and Blade Ken fighting in the Blade Wrestling ring, and I'd sit there, I'm like, child, what are you doing?
It's like Hunter,
I left them to it.
Yeah, it's like Hunter, he had a pink blankie, but people, my nan and that would say, "Oh, don't give him a pink blanket because he's a boy, not a girl." And I'd be like, "Well, no, because he loves that blanket. That's his favorite blanket. He was everything else, dinosaurs, Thomas, you know, all the normal, like what I say normal, what boys you would expect to have." But he wanted this pink blankie, and the reason he wanted it, and I tried to explain this to my family, but it wasn't going in. His sister had that blanket. It was her blankie, and when she was born, she gave it to him. And that is why he liked the blankie, because it was his sister's blankie and he loved her. And no, everyone was like, "Don't give him the pink blankie." So I actually, like, because there was so much pressure from my family. I always used to listen to my family. I don't anymore. But I used to listen, and there's a lot of pressure from them. So I would purposely only let him have it to go to bed.
Leah. Leah.
Right, I'll be back.
Yeah, it's difficult, but like I said, this is indoctrination. I do a lot actually on relationship, sex education, and like I said, statistics of what I gave you earlier. And I always say it comes from the Marxist playbook. That's what I always say. And let me tell you about an incident. So I'm running in Hollingwood and I get contacted by a parent from Failsworth, and their child goes to Failsworth Academy, whatever it's called. And so they were having, it was during lockdown, and they were having, she were having a lesson at home, his daughter. So she's over 11, I think, or something like that. And he's walked into the room and heard the teacher calling her a boy's name. And then when he's interrupted, the teacher said, "Oh, that's what she likes to be called at school." So they're under no obligation unless the kid tells the parents to tell you at home to tell the parents. So straight away, you're telling an 11-year-old kid that they don't have to tell the parents on things like that.
Yeah, it's a bit sus.
That's where it starts. That's where it starts. Then when them kids get older, you cannot tell them anything.
Exactly. So they shouldn't have control over your children in such a way where they keep things back from parents when they're that bloody age. I'm sorry, but that is wrong.
It's one step that leads to another. You should not lose that kind of connection with your child at a young age. You want them to talk to you. You don't want them to be negative with you. You want them to talk to you. And I tell you, all my nephews, I ain't got no kids. Every one of them talks to me the most personal things. You know,
I just realised they're all boys, aren't they? Good God. Oh, God. Oh, yeah, all of them. Because I remember the ones that Jane had, and I remember Cassim. Those are the only ones. I only remember 4 of them.
No, but yeah, there's Andrew, Daniel. There's 15 boys off 7 girls.
Jeez. Oh yeah, you were the only lad in your family, weren't you?
Only lad. Only lad. Emotionally and psychologically damaged, being the only lad in a family of sisters.
Oh God, yeah. Oh yeah, I remember. It used to be funny.
Connection. So at 11-year-old, you're breaking a connection there with your parents by them not knowing something that's, like quite personal. And kids obviously learn when them kids are teenagers, they're not going to listen to anyone. And that's why we've got so many out of control kids these days, because of things like that, and giving them the responsibility when they're not due it. I'm not saying my family were strict or stricter than anyone else, but you had that chain in the family and you had that kind of respect.
Yeah, nothing like nowadays, because at the end of the day, the way people or children talk to people now, wouldn't even do that as a child. You'd crap yourself. You get a bloody clip around the ear by the coppers, and then you'd let on and get another bloody clip around the ear. You had more respect. But nowadays, people just talk to you like you're something they've stood in.
Yeah.
And,
we
never did anything like that.
And so that's obviously their education and stuff like that affecting them. I'm big on all this. I do a lot of stuff about it. I've talked about it. I've gone to schools, obviously out of school time. But like a few people have had a go at me, but I want to be a local counsellor.
Yeah. So you got to get
Being a
used to
local
it.
counsellor, I'd be no good if I didn't know anything about the local school. Why am I even a stinking counsellor if I don't get involved in how my kids in my area are being taught? That's how I look at it, Jackie. You know,
Yeah,
anyone
definitely.
can say anything. Oh, you shouldn't be going to a school. When I'm a counsellor, I want to
You've
go
got
to
to know all
these
this.
schools. As soon as I'm a counsellor, I want to visit Oasis Academy.
Oh, dear.
And fails. I want to visit all the schools around there and see how they work as a counsellor. It's my right to, and
Yeah, it is.
you know, I'm not, like I said, it's important is our kids' education and young people, and I'm big on that. If you follow my YouTube channel,
Yeah, you can throw that in if you wish.
well, I mean, they can click on me. I can't click on my name, but I will do.
Not all of them can. Not you can put it in now because obviously you've got your moderator. Oh, God. But people, obviously, they're not all moderated, can't do it. They can't click on you. They have to rely on you throwing links in. That's why sometimes you have moderators or other moderators while you're doing nothing, you lot can actually find it as well. Like, hint, Dave, wherever he's gone. If that Dave's run off, now he's in trouble. Where's he buggering gone?
It's in the chat. At
NHPUK
TV. You'll find me on TikTok, and the links are all in the description. You know, I'm quite controversial. I just say it how it is, and I do call out the counsellors and anything that's doing in Oldham. I'm on the case.
Cool. Bloody hell, Mick, you're in and out like a bloody yo-yo. And good, Dave. You better
a minute, and I've got little boys' room.
Okay, you have fun with that. So, any questions you would like to ask him? Obviously, been born and bred round here. Feel sorry for him sometimes. I'm only kidding, but yeah. So, asking questions, and obviously, he's met a lot of people that you've probably watched on YouTube yourself. So, yep. Like I said, I used to hang around with him and a few other teenagers. So I've known them a long time, very long time. And obviously, them days, you didn't care what color or where anybody came from. You were basically generally friends with them, and you didn't care. Hello, Leah, again.
Hello, sorry about that.
So all the people we used to hang, we just did not care what anybody was like. There was none of this. You do this, you do that. We didn't even care what music anybody liked. Bloody hell. So, yep. In fact, when he comes back, there was a friend. In fact, I talk to her every now and again, and she's called Jackie. She was a lesbian bloody back when she was a teenager. She still is, obviously. Don't know whether you heard that, John, after you took yourself off mute. Jackie not.
Yes, Jackie.
So I was just saying about all the people we hung around with. We didn't care. But she never even hid that she was gay anyway. You could really tell a mile off. But we didn't care because we all hung around together. Yeah. Because nobody's seen anything like that. We didn't go around causing bloody trouble or anything. So, you know, so a lot of difference. Oh, we have somebody coming in. Hello.
Hello. It is a man in the dark car.
Man in the car. Have you got the dog that you're looking after?
I have. Can you see doggy there? Hang on. Just see doggy. Hello. Zen.
Oh, look at that.
Oh,
Secret.
baby. He's having treats. Look, here we go. Treat.
Oh, I bet it's going to feel weird because obviously, you've not had a dog since yours passed away, so looking after somebody else's for a bit. But
I think he's wondering what's going on, but he's quite chill, as the name suggests. Zen. So I think he's not too worried at the moment. I think he's probably going to wonder later on, like, hang on, what's going on? But you know.
Yeah. Kitty's asking, is it a Malamute or a Husky? Ooh, we've lost him because he's driving back.
I think he froze.
Yeah, he has. He'll be back in a minute.
Looked a bit like Husky, didn't it?
Yeah. But his dog, the one that passed, was a Malamute.
What is
Okay.
his old dog? Or his other dog?
Yeah, well, that's not his dog. He's looking what it is. Somebody's moving, and he's looking after the dog while they're in transition of moving, which is a lot easier because obviously it can be very dramatic for animals.
Of
So,
course, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So, was it a husky
There's
or a
gonna be
Malamute?
it's a husky, and they seem to think he's got a bit of Malamute in, but I think it's just a husky. But I mean, he hasn't got the blue eyes. He's got brown eyes, but then a lot of huskies, you know, they don't always have the blue eyes.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not strictly a thing.
No.
He's cute.
Yeah, he is
Let me see
cute.
if I can. Let me see if I can just do this with my thing so I can see the map and drive. I'm just going to pull over a minute
Okay.
and turn my engine off and take the keys out. You know,
Uh-oh.
honest officer. Yeah.
He's on.
Secret Vault, are you in Wales right now?
No.
No.
All right, then you would, if you was, would you be driving at 20 mile an hour?
Not really.
No, he'd be going back home to Salisbury.
They're meant to be getting rid of that 20-mile-an-hour thing.
So,
That's good.
anybody, I don't know if anyone is into like Glastonbury and the longest day of the year in the sun. Did anyone go down there or anything?
No, I heard they meant to have absolutely trashed the area, which that's bloody ridiculous for people that go to the
the Glastonbury show, but when they have the longest day of the year, they go to Stonehenge, don't they, and see all the stones and all that lot. But yeah, I'm angry. I'm angry over that Bob villain. Now, I'm no fan of Israel. I'm no fan of anybody outside the UK. I don't care. I don't want anything to do with any war. If you had me in government since like the 1990s, we'd never have gone to war in Iraq. We wouldn't be having no trouble in Ukraine. There won't be no destabilization in the Middle East. We would not have invaded Libya. We won't be in the trouble we're in now if you had a nationalist or like a centre-right government. But we don't. We've had a lefty liberal government that takes us into all these wars. But anyway, Stonehenge and that, the longest day of the year is 21st, I think it were. But it was quite good because there was a lot of it on social media. But that's been going on years, hasn't it? The Stonehenge thing.
Hold on, Matt, you went Glastonbury last year, didn't you?
Yeah. No, I don't. I don't go to Glastonbury as into the festival. No. I go to the little festivals that Melissa puts on because they're just one field, you know, and a bit more intimate. I don't like Glastonbury. It's just too big, and it's a bit. I find it like a bit manic.
Yeah.
There'd be murders if I ever went Glastonbury. Oh.
Oh God.
But yeah, so he's allowed to say that, and obviously whatever's happened with Lucy Connolly, and it's really ticked me box.
Yeah.
So I've emailed GMP over it, and I wanna go and visit and go and see counter-tourism at Great Manchester Police.
Oh yeah.
I said something in 2018 that would, if I'd said it now, I would have got 5 years. They would have locked me away. And counter-tourism come to see me. So I think they profiled me. That's what they did. See what kind of person I am. I've had no trouble since, but whenever I'm feeling like something like this Bob Villain thing, I'm contacting them. You know, I'm angry and like, how come he's not been arrested? He should be getting 10 years in jail for saying that.
Oh, I didn't even see what he said.
Oh, it's not very nice. It's been all over the internet. It's awful.
I haven't really been on because I've been doing loads of stuff. But hang on, I'll have a quick glance. I'm sure I'll find it.
Yeah, it's not nice at all.
Yeah, Bob villain,
Oh,
Glastonbury.
villain. Yeah, because it was in Glastonbury. The thing is, they've actually taken some of it down as well. And they said, oh, it's not going to be going on, what do you call it, on thingy on demand. I was like, oh, it's been done now. He shouldn't have even done it. He should have been booted off. They should have cut the feed at BBC, but they didn't.
But he's had a 26-day tour cancelled in the US. He's had a US visa revoked. His agency have dropped him. There's a possibility that he'll be busking next year on streets of London. but you know, like it's a fact that, you know, he said that, right? And like I said, I'm no fan of Israel, but we shouldn't have anybody shouting stuff like that on British soil. They shouldn't do. They shouldn't be.
No,
you know, like if I were Prime Minister, I'm telling you, I'm sorry, I'd be deporting a lot of people. I would.
Oh God. I don't blame you.
Well, I mean, you know, considering Lucy Connolly, went to jail over hurty word tweet where she didn't actually sort of like keep it up there for long, and this guy did it on national television. Is he going to get prosecuted and stuck in jail for 2 years? No,
he's not going to, mate. He's not going to. He certainly isn't. Dude, he's been cancelled, as in he's lost all his agency and his 26-day tour. But I doubt it, very doubt it. He'll get a criminal conviction off it, and it just goes to show, you know, like the next time I'm talking to police. Could be one at Chief Constable's of Manchester. I'm going to say, look, he said that. Yeah. So does that mean I can start saying I want the Labour Party out the same way? Can I say that? You know, I'll put them on the spot because it's just wrong. But, you know, we're influenced by other countries, guys. Honestly, no matter what you think, we don't run our country. Israel donate hundreds of thousands of pounds. Glorious trips for all our MPs to Jerusalem or whatever, paying for it all.
Israel, China. I know all about this stuff. I know all about China. I know all about Israel. I went to golf. They say, Trump, you're the best at golf. I say, yes. I say, we're going to build the biggest golf in the entire USA.
Well,
that was my little boy. Isn't he really good at the voice?
Everyone's been angry. Everyone's been going on, but even Trump got angry. And if you heard his speech the other day, he swore at Israel and Iran. He swore at them both. Yeah. You know what I mean? He didn't just swear at Iran. He said what's gone on. He was furious. So, you know, even he sees it. And all this influence on our politicians, and that means the British who are here, the British working class, no matter what colour you are, you're last on the list.
Yep.
To do with anything. That's why we're in a housing crisis, sort of like, and you know that's why we have so much troubles. And I just don't like it, guys. I just don't like it. You know, it's
well, the thing with the police is, you said, oh, next time I speak to the police, I'll ask them whether I can do this and that. You know what they always say? They always say, we can't give you legal advice and we can't tell you what's right or wrong. But if you do something that's wrong, they'll lick you for it. So it's like, but apparently you can't tell me what's right and wrong. But if I do something wrong, you lick me for it.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. See, Matt's been had a few problems with the police in the past himself, haven't you, Matt?
Oh, yeah. I've had an idiot make false claims that I was going to kill the Prime Minister, I was going to do this to an MP, this to another MP, this to, you know, asylum seekers or whatever. And all these things got me arrested over the period of 2 years, 4 times, with my house raided by 16 police officers, take my computers, my phone, my laptops, everything, hard drives.
Who did it to you? Do you have a fine?
He can't mention the person.
Can't say.
He can't say. I'll talk to you off camera.
Why can't you say? Is it?
Because I'm prevented from discussing it on social media.
Oh man, honestly, I'm not having
it. He can't. No, he's been bollocked by the. No, he got
worries,
took to court.
Listen. I've blurted out stuff that I shouldn't have done a couple of times. But
Oh, he's had so much shit, John.
he's wrong,
They've taken stuff off him and everything.
I get it, but it's so wrong. I met two lads called the Blur, Joseph and Bobby Blur, Irish, and there was a big European investigation into the Catholic Church over child sexual exploitation, and 90 million euros, nearly 100 million euros it cost. And these two lads, they waved their anonymity, but they can't tell you who the priest was. They're not allowed to say that. And I was partying with them one time, then they told me. But luckily, by the next day, I'd forgot the name. But, honestly, I get it.
Yeah, you're not allowed to say it publicly, but all I can say is that 7 months they give my stuff back, no charges, all dropped, and then they come and do it again. And that happened 4 times over 2 years. And they were so stupid that they couldn't put 2 and 2 together, that they'd actually come and done this to me before. So they were just doing it again and doing it again and doing it again until I got an order put on my house, so they couldn't do it to me again. So it actually forced them to acknowledge that they'd been doing this to me over 2 years, 4 times, and they were too stupid to realise that they were being played by the idiot who was putting these false claims through.
The thing is, I'm not being funny, but like, what if you suddenly decided now to do it? Like, you get what I mean? They're messing about with stupid things.
Yeah, go on.
No, I mean, it's kind of like I would say to them, hang on, you've been to my house before. I've got a bundle of documents by the front door to give you to say, well, you've been here and done this before. And they were like, don't care about that. Just, you're under arrest, shut up, come to the cells, and then they deal with it later on, and they'd go, we could see we've been there before, but that doesn't make any difference because we've got to deal with each case individually. And I'm like, well, you're just playing into the hand of the abuser who's doing this. You're not taking me into consideration at all. You're just listening to somebody on really spurious, like accusations, and like you can't find who they are because they're doing it anonymously through a VPN, but you haven't bothered to check it was done through a VPN, and it's like, so you just come out guns blazing every time.
Yeah,
I've met a few people in that particular situation. I have, but then again, I've also been involved in a couple of cases where we've had stuff thrown out. In the end, I've made it dead public, and then it's just forced the issue that person can never ever do what they did again. They lied, and it was an elected mayor of Liverpool. It was a decorative mayor of Liverpool. She's called Anna Roffery. She lied.
Right.
Took her back to court after the police raided my friend's house with her elderly mum and dad in the house and all that lot. And we took her back to court on an appeal, and it got thrown out. And I made it dead public, and that woman doesn't say nothing now. She keeps her mouth shut because I made it so public. So I have been involved in a couple of cases, but this is why I got involved in politics and supporting people in the first place. I'm dead confident. I'm a good speaker and all. Not everyone's like that, and some people need support. And the kind of support is sometimes they might just need somebody with them.
Yes.
You know what I mean? They don't, not advice, just might need somebody with them. And I've been with people who have previously been intimidated by social services, the council, and officials and the police. When I go, there's none of that. You know what I mean? When I go, there's no intimidation. I don't let them speak to Dorothy, who's like over 60. I don't let them speak to her like shit. You know what I mean? I'll stick up for her. And, that's all, that's just a little bit of support I can do. I'm not versed in the law. But I do know, like, me right and wrong, more or less. But just being with someone can support them, and that's what I like to do. And that's how I work. So.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'll talk to you about it more. You know, I can tell you more than I can say on here. But yeah, it's not fair. I mean, I've seen the worst of the police, and they don't even. I've handed this document bundle to them with the details of who this is that's doing this to me, and they've handed the document bundle to me back 4 times unopened. They've never opened it and even looked at what's inside the document bundle.
Well, a particular experience was when UKIP were big, just before the referendum. I met a mother on a demonstration. Not a demonstration, it was like a voting thing anyway, but her 19-year-old son run for the local council, and I think it was Wiggany or Lee or something like that. And the Labour people in that area did a campaign of abuse against him. You know what I mean? Calling him this, calling him that, doing false allegations and all that lot. And he ended up the councillors being sacked and stuff like that over what they did. But you know, like, I'm just not letting anyone do that to me. There's intimidation. When we got to the candidate agent briefing, the last one we went to in Oldham, and I've no phone proof, but the Oldham chief executive officer were there, the elections manager were there was representative of the police, and there were 30 other people. That's my proof. And I stood up, and the police said, "Do I have to take abuse in the street over Israel and Palestine, considering I was born in 1967 and that thing started in the 50s? Nothing to do with me, and I don't want to be involved, and I don't support either side." And he said, "No, you don't. You can report it to us." And I went, "What do you mean report it? I'm arresting them if I've got it on video." No, please don't do that. I'm arresting them, mate. They'll go on their ass first, and I'll phone the police afterwards.
Yeah.
And you should. Everyone's facing council meeting. They're all, and I'm not bigging up or anything. There weren't all just white people there. There were Muslims there. That's what I said, and I'm just not taking it. I don't give anyone else stuff like that on the street. I don't shout and scream at people. I don't call them names or anything like that. Even if the person doesn't agree with me, I'll still try and talk to them as civil as possible.
Yeah.
And I expect that of everyone. So really, I get left alone. Nobody really bothers me because I'm out there and I tell them on what I'm going to do. So, but it's a shady old world politics. You've got to have like 6-inch steel padding on your back to protect you from all the backstabs you're gonna get.
Yeah. Bloody hell. Yeah.
He is indeed, Melissa. And Dave, I agree. Melissa, you're dead right.
Yeah, maybe. But Dave, I am not twerking, so piss off.
Jackie twerking and things, and
She
Jackie's
is not twerking. So fuck off, a lot of yous. Yeah, this is the thing. They keep me going. Say Jackie twerks or Jackie's got OnlyFans. Jackie hasn't.
Do you guys want to see Jackie twerking? I have video evidence.
No, I was drunk. No, you already showed it. I can't. What was it, Sunday or Saturday? You showed it.
Saturday.
I'm like, no. Jackie doesn't remember these things. Oh God!
I mean, I've seen some weird things with court cases as well because I've sat in on court cases, and I remember a woman who was clearly quite mentally ill was being taken for every penny she had, and she had a house and money and stuff like that because she was just getting dogs and like cramming dogs in the house, like getting like 19 dogs, and they took them off her and they said, you can't have dogs, and then she'd go and get more. And because of this, the RSPCA were taking it to court, but they were treating her as if she was a totally sane person and not acknowledging the fact that she had mental problems. It was quite clear she didn't really know what she was doing. She wasn't Copus Mentis, and they were going, no, she's perfectly fine. She's in this court, and we're going to get every penny, and we're going to have her house, and we're going to have all her money, we're going to take it all off her. And I don't think that was very fair because, they were treating her as if she was, a sane, rational person who could handle this court, and what was going on, and she wasn't being dealt with by the mental health teams and represented in any way to kind of, present her, her state of mind. She was just being like, ripped off, and this is what goes on behind closed doors in these courts. So I don't know what you think. It's John, it is, isn't it?
John,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Oh, I agree.
John.
I agree. Social
Yeah.
services.
And Secret Vault is
Matthew.
Matt, or Matthew, he likes to be called. Matt or
I've been,
Matthew.
when you just said sat in court cases, I've done about 100 court cases over 10 years. Child sexual exploitation, personal things, like that Mer one in Liverpool, my friend getting scammed in Bristol, and I've sat through loads of court, and you're right. And I've got big issues with social services, like we've got this national child sexual exploitation thing. And what they're going to do, they're going to send the girls back to the people who failed them in the first place. That's what they're going to do. That's what they've done for 30, 40 years. And it's a money racket as well. It's a money racket. People do get loaded off that. If you start fostering, it can be very lucrative, but you don't always get the fosterer who really cares about kids. I've got friends.
It's £20,000 a year, isn't it, per child? So you get two. You foster two. That's 40 grand.
Yeah,
I'm definitely doing the wrong thing.
England is one of the biggest, or if not one of the biggest places in Europe that kids get took into care in the EU and Europe, and it's the biggest, and it's shocking. But I mean, the breakdown of the family unit. They don't want us to have the nuclear family. That's the enemy of everything. The nuclear family. They're breaking down our families. Once these families are broken down, it's easy to target the kids, the dad, the mum, in different things, and we just don't have that kind of community anymore. We really don't. Everything's stacked against us.
Yeah.
Do you know what I think would stop a lot of this system, that's going wrong overnight, would be televise the court cases like they do in the States, so we get to see what's going on, and people will go, hang on, look what they just did in court. You can't do that. Hang on, that's not even legal, what they just did. But the magistrates, they can get away with so much because it's all whoosh, 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 out we go, that's it, right, you're done, this is what's happening, and it's like, I've had things happen to me in court where I wasn't allowed to present evidence which would have proved my innocence, and they just went nope, and it was like all whoosh whoosh, done and dusted, and I got shafted. Now, had that been televised, right, there would have been holy hell to pay about what had gone on in that court, because you come to court with evidence that prove your innocence, and the judge goes, well, you didn't fill in the form. Your solicitor should have done that for you. Because they didn't, you're not having any evidence now. Right, we're going to try you without evidence. Right, ha, 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 ha. And it's like, oh, so guilty because I got no evidence. Right, brilliant.
Yeah, well,
nice one.
The family courts, 90% of them are closed. You know what I mean? You can't get in, and it's a big issue. I've protested. I've been social services in Longside, Rochdale, and I've protested against them, and twice I've named people who work in the social services because I know they're guilty because I've seen the evidence. If I see the evidence and it works out that you're innocent and they're guilty, I'm outside the building calling the names. You know what I mean? Honestly. And I've had mothers come up to me, said that, like, the police are going to arrest me if I talk about my case that's been over for 5 years. That's what one woman said to me. And what we did, we moved her, and then we got to talk about a case, and they couldn't find her. And a case ended up coming out. Someone picked it up, and then she's now talks about it all the time, how they tricked her. And I had a part in helping out, not a big one, but I had a part in helping out. But yeah, social services is so bent, corrupt, It's not run properly. Box tickers again and stuff like that. It's wrong. It's just really wrong.
Definitely.
And especially in this environment now where you can't get legal aid and you end up dragged into court and you haven't got legal aid and you're having to represent yourself, and the system is not interested in what the details of the case are, and the facts, things like that. They just go by the officials, what the officials say, and it all goes on whoosh, 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 behind closed doors, and there's too much secrecy. And the biggest thing that's going to bust this open, all this stuff, is televise their cases.
Yeah, I agree. I
Yeah.
agree. It's
Definitely.
mad that you can't get legal aid, but if anyone knows about child sexual exploitation in Rochdale, three
Yeah.
men who've been fighting deportation have had over £2 million towards supporting their cases in legal aid. Get that.
Jesus,
Mental.
that
Get
is mad.
I know
That is
somebody now he's been accused of something to do with an ex-girlfriend from many years ago. She's kicking off, sort of trying to cause problems for him and accusing him of all sorts of stuff. But the police listen to her. She's allowed to get legal aid, but he's not allowed to get legal aid to defend himself. But she is, and she's the accuser, and she's made up stuff, just spurious, accusations which are not backed up by fact. There's no facts, there's no evidence. Yeah, it's just her saying this happened, that happened, this happened, and they listen to her, but they don't listen to anything he's got to say. So I've actually been helping him to put a case together.
It runs into something that you're saying. It's all men. It's everything. It's all the man's fault. I'm just sick of that. There's a little video on my shorts, and Arut Shah, the Oldham Council leader, a 50-year gentleman's agreement. Now, everyone knows what a gentleman's agreement means.
Right.
And it was to get the deputy mayor position, so to give it to an independent in Oldham. So she stood up in a speech and said, I wasn't here 50 years ago, so I can't tell you about this agreement. And that's what's wrong. Gentlemen shouldn't be making agreements. That's what's making everything wrong now. And I've done a video, I've called her a thicko, right? And I've called her, I haven't said it, but she's an ignorant immigrant. She stood, and the Lib Dem leader pointed at the board behind her and said, oh, the top of that board is a woman's name, and that's who got the first position on this 50-year agreement, a woman. And she stood in front of that and had pictures of it. And, she's just so thick. And I'm not into this anti-men thing. I'm not. I just looked after my mum for 5 years until she died. And, I have ultimate respect for her. I'm not anti-women. I'm not a bad man or anything like that. But it's really doing me head in a bit. This
I can understand where you're coming from on that. I have to step in on that one, though. I know it's not all men. I understand.
Yeah.
But the problem is that there's a lot of men, and it is mostly men, and that's the problem.
Yes,
and you are a nice man. You are the minority. Do you get what I mean? It's not a case of...
Statistically, you're right.
I think it's really unfair to slap everybody with the same label just because you're a man, you're a horrible person.
Yeah.
However, it isn't a woman I'm scared of walking down the street at night time. It isn't a woman I'm watching behind me to come up and try to kill me or try to do something. It's always a man that I'm looking out for. Same as you go into this is the whole thing where I think it's why they got the bear in the wood thing. I don't agree with saying the bear because I think it's low shit, but I think that's where they got the bear from. Same as you walk in the woods, it's a bear you're looking for. So you're not looking for you know what I mean? You're not looking for a squirrel to come kill you. It's the same thing. And it is, I don't agree that all men are like it at all. I don't. And my husband is one of the good ones. He is 100% a woman lover. He loves women. He's always there. He's always kind. And he'll always support everybody. He's a flirt like fuck, but he's a sweetheart.
He does.
But, he's a good man. And there are good men. But there are a lot of shitty men, and a lot of I think a lot of them are people that have had shitty childhoods, or they've had women reject them because like, you know, women can pretty much pick pretty much almost any man, but they can't. Do you know what I mean? Like, so if they're not, as you would say, conventionally attractive, even if, do you get what I mean by conventionally attractive? I'm not saying that they're not attractive, but to like, they're not
like a supermodel.
They're not Leonardo DiCaprio. Do you know what I mean? Like that kind of
Leah,
thing.
There's a few reasons, right? And I might sound a bit awful now, but a report has come out to say that new immigrants are committing more sexual assaults than anyone else. I'm just saying. So.
Yeah.
And the other thing that I believe is involved in this is the masculizing men, demasculizing them. Then they don't know the direction. You know, and a masculine man is someone who protects, he provides. That's how I see things. But with this relationship and sex education, some men are now changing to women. So we're messing their emotions up, or, you know, they're getting that kind of pressure on that, you know.
I think there's a lot of stuff that's definitely affecting different things. The thing is, right, women, like sexual abuse towards women and children actually are involved in this as well, but it's mostly about women, this statistic. When they looked at it, like the amount of women who report and the amount of women who actually get, like, what's the word that I'm looking for? When they get convicted, get a conviction, is a lot lower than what actually happens. I was sexually assaulted in a club, and tried to tell the bar staff that this had happened. They screamed at me because the club had shut and kicked me out on the street. I had nobody to help me. I was in the middle of Cardiff on my own. I had no one to help me, and I never reported it. So how many other women went through that? Do you get what I mean? There's so many that don't say anything, or they go through I was kissing him, and then I pushed him away, and then he did it, but it's my fault because I led him on, and then they don't report. It's things like that.
Yeah.
And that happens a lot more than what people know. And I'm completely like I said, I am with you 100%. It's not all men. It isn't all men. Not all men are like it. Not all men. But
majority,
men.
I agree. I agree, majority, yeah. But, you know, like you said, we've just done 3 different things of why that could be. And that's why I always go down. I've said there's a few things as how we're indoctrinated and taught, you know what I mean? The traditional family role, the masculine man, they don't like that. And when you break that family up, you can easily do whatever you want and people go out of control and stuff like that. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. But the fact was that now we have women in power and that's all they talk about is men.
Yeah, like, they do actually. You hear it, people get putting men down, and it's sometimes it's like, no, I know some men can be an absolute arseholes, but not all of them. So why tar them all with the same brush?
Yeah, this is very true.
But
well, I was
Ruth Shah, she's one of these women who, like, men are the problem, not realizing what gentleman's agreement was, not realizing. And, you know, I don't like that, me, and I'm very vocal against it. But then again, I've been to court cases, and so East Street, Bury, there was a woman who she died by being in flames, right? She was torched. And I went down, me, talking to locals on street, and it was her husband who did it, or a partner, and a jealous partner. And the thing was, she was a slag. That's what I'm going to say. People said that she was promiscuous. Yeah, promiscuous. Yeah. And
but she didn't deserve that.
Said arrested some people and said didn't do nothing about it and said she lit herself, but they reinvestigated it, and I brought it up at the mayor's question time, and someone's being done for torturing her now. So, you know, I'm aware, but like I said, recently there's been an article come out to say that an increase in sexual assaults is involving immigrants. That's what it said, the report.
Yes.
I'm going to try and find it.
Yeah, go on, Matt. You were going to say something.
Well, there's a couple of things. I mean, I'm in touch with people who know about sexual abuse that was going on in public school, like boarding school. And they said that the people who did it to them are still working at the school. This happened 30 years ago. And I said to them, it's screwed up their life, you know. They
Yes.
became heroin addicts living on the street, homeless, because of the psychological effect it had on them. And I've said that they've got out of that now. They've got clean. They're living in a house. And I said to them, but the thing is, you still haven't really got justice for that, and that person is probably still
Doing it.
Abusing those children. I said, you've got to think about doing something in order to kind of stop that happening. But he's got a lot on his plate at the moment because his partner has had brain cancer, so he's looking after her, and I don't think he wants any kind of, I can totally understand that. But when this is over, I'm going to sort of say to him, I'll help you and be there with you every step of the way to kind of like see that this gets dealt with, because there's too much of this going on out there.
Yeah, there is quite a lot because of obviously even somebody else that we know, he's been through certain forms of abuse as well. You know him as well, don't you, Matt?
Yeah.
So yeah, he's been through forms of abuse as well. So he's talked about it. So it's like,
sorry to interrupt. I just want to make sure that everyone knows I wasn't saying that men don't get abused. They do, and they do hide it.
I've heard of some men being.
Just everyone was saying in chat, yeah, men suffer in silence. Yeah, I'm completely with you. Yeah, men do. Yeah, they 100% do.
Because they see it as being soft, but then men won't hit back because obviously as soon as they strike a woman, they feel bad. And that's it is bad if some woman's kicking the absolute shit out of a guy. I'm sure there was one that I watched. I think that's on Netflix or something like that. That woman was an absolute bitch.
The highest rate of suicide, don't they, as well?
Yeah, that's why they have. Was it
it's not high, it's one of the. It's high.
Yes, it is.
But you're about that series, Baby Deer, and you or something like that.
No, I think Baby Deer. There was another one. Yeah, I've seen that. She was a stalker. There was another one that I watched. And yeah, actually, the woman's giving him so much shit. She even pulled a knife on him, but he put a camera to catch the way she were. I'm sure it was on Netflix. And I'm like, oh my God, she'd really like that. What a bitch. I'm sure it was on. I don't know whether it's still on there or anything, but I watched it and it was really bad because I love watching some of me real life crime. And I actually watched it and I'm like, whoa, she was horrible. In fact, she'd even do it in front of the kids. That's how bad she was.
Well, like I said, Jackie, men don't want to, a lot of men, and I'm one of them men who won't say things when I should do. Affected me. I'm one of them men. I'm 100% one of them. And I've just been through something and
yes,
I didn't say anything. You know what I mean? And because I'm a man and I'm masculine and I should be impervious to it. But but all this is like, I was taught indoctrination, breakdown in the nuclear family. When we had a strong family when we were younger in the community, everyone knew you. All the next door neighbours knew you were. They knew your name.
Yeah.
If you did something wrong, they'd take you back to your mum's house. Now you don't know who's living 2 doors down from you. Honestly, and I've always talked a lot like that about our communities and the breakdown and stuff like that. And once you break up that family, they're easy to deal with in however which way you want to do it.
Yeah. So John Bengals put it on. He says, it was on Netflix. Jackie, the guy was interviewed by the police and saw the footage he captured and could not believe what he went through and was still sane. It was really awful. I thought so. It was really, really nasty. Couldn't believe it. And he put up with all her crap. It's like any other guy who's been pushed that hard, they would have struck out. But that guy took everything from that woman. It was like, wow.
Look what happened to Johnny Depp. In the UK, they took Amber Heard's side of things and sort of went, oh yeah, Johnny Depp must have done that. Because they take the women's side, they didn't explore the case properly. But when it was dealt with in the US, I mean, he was exonerated, and it says, well, look at the way Britain deals with these cases. It's kind of like, I'm not. I'm not really well versed on it, but it does seem like that women will automatically be kind of
Play on
treated
it.
as the victim. Play on it and treated as the victim, and given extra credit, you know, kind of in terms of being listened to. And that's a shame, because I think, you know, you have to look at things based on the evidence, not based on feelings, and that to me is going on feelings rather than evidence.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Going back to the thing about the like family and all that sort of stuff, but like what we have to keep in mind as well is that it wasn't always, like, it's never been perfect. We can't turn around and say, oh, in the 1980s, 1960s, 1950s, 40s, whatever, that everyone had a perfect family or the family was
No, of course
solid
not.
or whatever. Because obviously people would sit there, like, they wouldn't say nothing, their husband's beating the crap out of them, you know, things like that, and they just took it because that was what they were expected to do. Or their husbands like going out, even my nan's generation, their husbands going out and cheating on them like every Saturday, because as long as they weren't bringing the trouble home, they didn't care. They just turned a blind eye to keep the husband happy. Things like that. That was all. That none of that was okay either. I think we need to find some sort of ground where it's not one way or the other and everybody can be happy. I think that's part of the problem, is I think everyone's gone too far the other way.
Yep.
There needs to be something, but I think men do need to learn to, like, we need to be teaching our men from young that they can talk about their feelings, and it's okay to be upset, and it's okay to share your problems, and that doesn't make you any less of a man to share your problems.
I think we live in a society now where you can actually get justice these days, whether it's male or female. You know, the system is there to kind of listen to anyone these days. Whereas it was a lot shittier in the past, I think, and a lot was swept under the carpet. Not so much these days, but still there are these stereotypes and automatic assumptions that get made, which I really want to see that, like, the level.
Yeah, it needs to go, and a lot of that's down to as well, a lot of the like people involved with the lawmaking, and not the lawmaking, but the people making these decisions in the courtroom and stuff. They're elderly men who are probably still slightly biased to the old way of thinking. I think that's got a lot to do with it, and obviously things like outside influences. If they're slightly younger, maybe older people around them still have those biases, you know, saying men should be men and women should be women, and you can't be sad because it makes you less masculine.
One of the things to do with political is we're inviting people in who live differently than us. And how can I prove this? I can prove it by 100,000 cases of female genital mutilation since like the 1950s, 60s, honor violence, and stuff like that. We've had an MP stand up in Parliament saying he wants blasphemy laws in. So, you know, like, there's a lot of influence there. And if we look at an homogenous society, so like Japan is mainly Japanese people there, you can leave your phone on the street and it's there 2 days later. You know what I mean? You can't do that in England.
No, you couldn't. No.
Stuff like that. And, you know, I'm not saying that we don't need anybody of any colour or anything, but we're having so many people in, and I talked about this earlier on, the amount of people coming into this country, and a lot of them have different values, and they don't look at things, they look at things differently. And I'm not gonna, you know, like, I'll get called all the names under the sun, but there's more anti-women things now because we've got these people here. I'm sorry. Female genital mutilation, 100,000 cases since the 1950s. Then some guys said to me, but most of them were done outside the UK. If just 1% were done, that's thousands. You know, it's just,
it's like
you see loads of videos on YouTube of women who are afraid to go out in the streets. You know, and when they do go out, they get in touch and like assault and all this sort of stuff, and it's like,
I want to know why we can't have.
There's no education when people are brought in. There's no education to kind of like integrate people into society. It's like, in you come, then that's it. Carry on as you want.
This is it, right? I'm not against people coming in and being part of our country as long as they like. I don't understand why we would have to go to Dubai, and if we were to like kiss in front of somebody in Dubai, like me and like, do you know what I mean? Or like for me being bi, if I went out there if I had a girlfriend, for example, and I went out there and I started kissing my girlfriend, I could get into a lot of trouble over there. Well, why can't we have it so that they have to abide by our rules?
Yes.
Like, I'm not saying they have to be Catholic or Protestant or CFE, whatever. I'm not saying you have to choose our religion or anything like that, but at least fit in with our society and stop when they speak in different languages in front of you, and like, I don't mind them speaking different languages. That's not the problem. But you don't know what they're saying, and they could literally be slagging you off right in front of your face, and like saying, "Oh, look at that fat bitch" or something. Do you know what I mean? Right in front of you, and you wouldn't have a clue.
There will be.
And it's like,
Leah, there will be. But like we're talking like this now. Oh, if the certain people were online, they'd be calling me all names under the sun. But 2001, we had the Oldham Bradford riots, and then the year after, we had the Ritchie report done by some geezer, Summit Ritchie. And in that Ritchie report, it stated that the council had not dealt with these kind of issues to integrate people properly, ending up creating ghettos, which ended up with trouble within the community. And that was 2001. So that was 24 years ago. I wasn't politically active then, but it's online. Anyone can look at it. And I always go to this report, and that's what it said. And it said then it had been going on for 30 years. So that's 50 years of people not integrating. And you can ask a lot of Indians who've been here ages, and they'll tell you that exact same thing. You can ask a lot of the Bengalis and Pakistanis who've been here since the 50s. If you ask them, they'll say exactly the same thing. There's no integration now. We're flooding people into the country. They don't even have the basics. Oldham Council have to pay uni students to go to new immigrants' houses to show them how to like British values. Honestly, that's what we have to do in Oldham, and that's just Oldham, and I can prove that. There's documentation for that, and it's no good. It's broken our society. But honestly, everything you said, that it all links together. It all links together.
Yeah.
I don't think they even ask them to kind of like swear allegiance. Like in America, you would literally have to, if you're going to become nationalized, get your green card, you have to go on a course. You have to learn about the Declaration of Independence and principles of law and things like that, and then you have to swear allegiance to the flag. Now a lot of people who don't come there because they've got good intentions, they would refuse to do that on religious grounds. They'd go, no, my kind of beliefs go above yours. I'm not saying that. They wouldn't say it, and if they did say it, they'd be actually going against some of the things that are in their religion. So there's no way they would say it. So it's like, if you're not prepared to say it, then should you really be here?
I worked with people I worked with asylum seekers for a year in Ireland. Now, Irish asylum seekers, they're taken in and they go into a camp. The camp has them held there, and they basically have their own school. They have their own like little shop and their own little community. But while they're there, they can have lessons in Irish and have lessons in the Irish law, and all that sort of stuff. So they know what they're going into. Now, 90% of the people in this camp were from, I think it was Uganda and Nigeria. So they were coming over to get away from female genital mutilation, war, all that kind of stuff. They were running. It was mostly women with babies or young children. And they were amazing. They were well up for integrating. We did a project called Mosnia Home from Home, where we brought them to our school. We did a Cayley, which is an Irish dance, like a get-together, like a dance thing. And we had people perform Irish dances, Irish jigs. They showed us some of their culture, their dances, things like that, and it was absolutely beautiful. And we actually got awarded for that. And why can't they do something like that over here, where these people come in as asylum seekers, they get to integrate tidily, like so they actually get help to integrate, get help to come in and learn where they're going. Because at the end of the day, right, it must be really scary for them. Could you imagine moving to an entirely different country where nobody really speaks your language, and you have maybe a little bit of like few words of their language that you can kind of half communicate with, and you don't know, like, and then as soon as you come in, everybody's like, oh, get back to your own country, we hate you, blah blah. Because if we went to Ireland, or we went to Norway, or we went to any white predominant country, they're just gonna sort of go, oh, you're from Britain, oh, okay, you know what I mean, you're not gonna go back to your country, and it must be quite frightening for them. So
I've had different me in Holland, but no, you are right in some things, but we can't ignore that, like cultural differences, the democracy differences. Like I said, I pointed out that there's an MP wanting blasphemy laws to come in, and they want to decriminate. They want to promote first cousin marriages and not bothered about it, even though we know statistically that that's bad. They want it, you know what I mean? These are the things that we don't do. And when we look at first cousin marriages, before the 1950s, it wasn't an issue. But after the 1950s, it's become a massive issue in the UK. Birmingham has, like, I think the highest rate in Europe of like disabled kids. And even though we're talking to them, telling them how bad it is, there's a member of parliament wanting to like just do it and everyone overlook it. I'm not having it.
No.
I'm just not having it in the United Kingdom.
No
you know,
way.
we've got like I said, you know, there's a lot of reasons that the amount of people coming in, the different culture that you have, the way that we've gone to war across the world. We wouldn't have gone to any of these wars. I wouldn't have done. And you know, it's opened the floodgates for everyone to do. And now a lot of people from right and left are blaming particular people for all this that's going on now. So, you know, that's how I look at it. But I don't want to apologize. I don't want anybody here. I really don't. We've got enough people here already. We've got enough doctors and nurses. And no matter what we said, there is a lot of crime coming over here.
Yes.
In 2021, Albanians coming over on boats. The government measured them at 50 in that particular year. The next year in 2022, that was like 24,000 from 50 the year before. So they abused what were going on, got all these people here, and Albanians at the moment run a big part of the UK drug and prostitution and high crime thing. That them statistics are on the government website. So, you know, like, we need to like keep that door shut. We need to sort things out. You know, I want to say that I can be nice to people, and I am. There is a lot of people over here who've come and done good things and all that, but there is a lot of people who haven't. And I'm not saying it's more or less, but we need to put a hold on that, sort things out before we look at anything. And my party are against anybody getting a passport unless they're married or something like that. Refugees and asylum seekers, after all, go back to their countries, and we pull out of any kind of war in the Middle East or anything like that, just leave it to them. And, you know, I know it sounds a bit tough and a bit cruel, but if we want to go forward as a country, that's what we need to do. Otherwise, we're just going to get wiped out and destroyed, and we're going to have a...
Well, Australia does it, so why can't we adopt the same policies they do?
Yeah, that makes sense.
They turn the boats around, and there's no chance of them coming. You know what I mean? That's one issue in Australia. My thing encompasses loads, but yeah, you're right, and we could do that, but we're signed up to all these agreements, and one of the agreements we're signed up to that happened after World War II was the 1951 Refugee Convention, the UN Refugee Convention. And before then, it was a criminal act to cross borders, but since that convention's come out, it's opened up the borders and let people in. And no matter what you think about everything, it all stems back to the UN 1951 Refugee Convention. So now, when someone comes on a boat, as soon as they get into our waters, they've got to be processed. They've got to be processed. You can't just like arrest them and push them back over. They've got to be processed. And
but they should be treated as criminal, because the way they've crossed is to not. They come from a neutral country where they were not suffering any of the hardships, like they're coming through France, which is, they could apply in France, Germany, or many other countries and spread this around. But they're all going for the UK because they know we're a soft touch.
it was,
I mean, they what they should say. I mean, I think Nigel Farage and Reform talked about this. They say, well, if you came in illegally, you will not be granted, refugee status. But if you apply and are processed, that's fair enough. But if you come in illegally, you've lost your opportunity. You go back. That's it. If you're going to do it the wrong way by just barging through, that's illegal. You will be arrested, and I think you should be, because it's kind of like, it's like saying, well, I could take a load of coke across to France, like cocaine, and sort of like, and they go, oh well, there's nothing we can do about it. It's like, well, no, if you applied to do that, they tell you to piss off, wouldn't they? If you say, can I take a load of cocaine over to France? They'd go, no.
We're in a lot of agreements and being in the EU and stuff like that. And, I don't know what people think about Brexit. There has been good points, there has been bad points. But, I mean, I voted for Brexit, and not for any of the reasons that are major reasons that you see on the media. It's because some years before, I got talking to someone, got into it. And I read something, and I looked into it. It was just a waste of money. And, I looked more into the EU. But, we need to be on our own. And that's what we need to be. We don't need to be nasty with anybody about it. China, one in 3 items in your household is from China. You know what I mean? Yeah. Why can't we make them goods? We've lost our steel industry. Yes. British steel was the best steel in the world. And I don't know if you know, but recently there's been a bit of a scandal. We didn't have any coal. We had to ship coal from China that was dug up in Australia to make our last steel factory still going. Honestly, that's what we had to do just a few weeks ago. Yeah, 60 years ago, we were the world leaders. And, I don't know what people think of carbon neutral and all this lot, right? We don't need to cut our arms off to get carbon neutral. What we should be doing is still getting some coal, getting some oil to keep us going. We're looking at power cuts soon because all our energy comes from Europe, and look at the state of Europe.
Look at all the coal mines in Wales.
And I'm not against clean energy, but we can keep ourselves going and still work on clean energy. But at the moment now, they just want you to, no, none of that. You've got to get on clean energy right away. And that's crippling us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thing is, right, I think they need to start thinking about things differently. And I don't think that they're playing for people at all anymore. Like, look what they're doing to people with disabilities. I'm disabled. Jackie's got disabilities as well. Sorry, Jackie, I hope that's not like...
I'm not... This guy I've known since I was a teenager.
Oh, that's right then. Yeah, no, because we've both got disabilities, and they're like attacking us.
Yeah. And
it's like, why are you attacking people with disabilities? Right, the rate of people scamming PIP is like 0.01%. It's less than any other benefit. There's hardly any fraud. Trying to get that PIP, it's literally like you have to write down your deepest, darkest secrets and tell them your deepest, darkest secrets just to get it. And it's horrid. And the whole process is horrid. And having to sit there in front of somebody judging you, where you tell them like I said, there's things that I had to tell them that I would never tell anybody else that I know, because I'm so embarrassed about it. And I had to tell them because otherwise I wouldn't have got PIP. And it's like, it's grueling. And then you get an assessment every couple of years. and you have to go through it all over again. And now they're trying to cut that and trying to say that we don't need that,
Yeah.
and saying that because we're not going to work. Now, I run 3 businesses. I'm disabled. I have my own business, and I am trying my hardest to get it off the ground, and I'm working my flaming ass off, and I nearly kill myself every week. And I am disabled. And if it wasn't for that PIP, I would not be having my business, because I wouldn't have been able to afford my wheelchair that gets me there. I wouldn't be able to afford the extra things that I need to be able to do my job. And that is what PIP is for. It's there to help you to get the things you need to help your disability. And they're putting it now onto the, you can only have it if you go to work, is what they're basically saying. They're saying that they'll give you this benefit that will help you back into work, that you will be basically like PIP, but you have to work to get it, which I get where they're going. But there are days where I genuinely cannot get out of my bed because it hurts. I cannot move. What do I do then? Because if I keep having days off, I'm going to get sacked from a normal job.
I
You know?
just looked after my mum, Leah, for 5 years until she died in October, advanced Alzheimer's. And I haven't really gone public, but I've got fucking loads of issues with health system. If I'd have gone along with them doctors, my mum would have died 2-3 years earlier. Honestly, I believe that. And I can prove it all. My sister, if she were here, she would 100% agree with me. I haven't really gone public yet, but I'm ready to. And I you know, we're paying, at the last count, it was 10 million a day for them hotels. And I don't know if you've been watching, but the Victoria Hotel in Oldham, they've got an Indian call centre working at the back of the hotel. They got caught out by investigators. Active Patriot is called, and Yorkshire Rose. And they busted in. And these guys have got an Indian call centre. Another hotel has been done for having Deliveroos from the kitchen. People making
I've just seen that on TikTok.
So 10 million a day. So that's 70 million in 7 days. Yeah. So 70 million times 52 weeks, whatever number that is. That was at the last count, and I think that was about a year and a half ago. It's probably more than that now. And we're paying that in hotel bills right now. Keir Starmer said before the election he wouldn't cut the old people's money, but he's cut it. You know, the fuel thing.
They were looking at scratching around for 20 billion. 20 billion they were scratching around for, and look how much they spent on all the bloody hotels for people.
You know what I mean? And you know, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry if you're offended, but let's fucking think of us first. What did you get taught when you were younger? Sort your room out before you go out. Make sure you look after your little sister when she's out, and sort this out and do your chores and all that. None of that now. Fucking, you know what I mean? Honestly, you know, it's. I'm fuming.
The fact that, immigrants are given houses that could have gone to people who've been on waiting lists, you know, and there's a lot of homeless people out there, you know, that are not getting looked after, and these people are getting like priority treatment in the health service, and they're getting given free gifts, you know, to sort of like start them off, like phones and iPads and things like this, and then they get in accommodation. It's like, well, we don't get those sorts of like hookups. You know, people have lived here all their lives and paid into the tax system.
What we shouldn't say is just because it's them. But the whole economics of it is not right, is it? Because if you had a business, would you run it like that?
Well, I mean, it would be nice if they would give a mobile phone and an iPad and a place to live to everyone else as well. If that's the case, but it's not the case, is it? You know that.
No, it really isn't, and the statistics to prove that, you know, and stuff like that. But you know, we talked about a lot of things, cultural. We talked about the men and women issue, which is quite a big thing with me, Leah. So that's a big thing, and I get everything you're saying, and I agree. But you know, like behind that is how the kids are brought up and stuff like that. It's different. Children now don't have respect for anybody. So what are these teenagers going to be like when the men or the women or whatever, when they're grown up? They're just going to be so uncontrollable and stuff like that. That's what I see coming. And It's quite
my
scary.
kids don't have any respect for me. Well, not they don't have any. They do have respect for me, but like people have heard on the lives, they talk to me a bit crappy. But when it comes to other people, I've managed to at least instill into them that other people need respect. So it's only me that has to deal with their shitty behavior. But I guess I'm their mum; they're allowed to. But that's my kids. But like a lot of the people that they've hung around with, people that they've put in school, my son has been bullied something chronic, like because he doesn't agree with people disrespecting other people, and he's such like he like I said, he's a bit of a shit to me sometimes, but like he's my kid. Do you know what I mean? He's allowed to be. Well, he's not allowed to be, but do you know what I mean? If it's me, I don't really care as much as if it's somebody else. But the only time you will see my kids standing up to an adult is when they actually do need standing up to, and my kids will stand up for what's right. And I've seen my son, like my daughter was trying to get like, I know this is kind of off topic, but this is what I mean about kids. My daughter was trying to get a cheesecake returned because it was gone off when she bought it, and the lady was like, "No, you're not. I'm not changing it because you've eaten some of it." And she went, "Yeah, but it's gone off. Like I tasted it; it was horrible. It's gone off." And tried to return. This lady wouldn't give her a return. She said, "If you had a sealed one, I would have given you a return, but I can give you a new one, right?" So my son went, "Okay, fair enough, right? Give me the new one, and I'll give you the old one." So he gave her the old one. Then he turned around and gave her the new one back and said, "There you go. There's a sealed one. Can I have my money back?" And he got his money back. See, my kids are clever like that. They'll stand up. Do you know what I mean? If they need to stand up to somebody, they'll stand up. But they have respect, and that is something I've drummed into them. They have respect for other people.
But remember earlier on when I was talking about the cutting out that communication between a parent and the kid with not telling him the name of the kid. All these little things add up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They add up, and they're doing them. And you know, in the past, you wouldn't have got away with that. And my mate who phoned me, you know, he was genuinely upset. You know, he wasn't just like confused or anything. He were upset, and he had a week of like messaging and the odd phone call, just chatting with him and stuff like that. And then I repeated the story. I didn't say anyone's name, but I repeated the story. And all these little things add up. So it's either taught at school, the kind of rules we have. I do think, you know, like we've got issues with knife crime. And it's been pointed out, well pointed out, that a lot of it is imported, this kind of violent crime. Them Albanian drugs gangs, there was a particular case, and it was Albanians against another Albanian, lived in Newcastle. He had a £10,000 cannabis grow, just £10,000. And that, I think that's small, that, And he went up and executed him with a double-barrel shotgun point blank. That was in the paper, a case in the paper. And, you know, like, we've got that on our streets now, you know, and it's ingrained, and more kids are using blades and stuff like that. And I don't mean ethnic minority kids. Reese Tansey in Bolton. He was lured out of his house by two white lads and a white girl, and then they knifed him to bits, and he was white. You know what I mean? Then there was a 16-year-old stabbed in Bury Centre, and the mayor's question time was a month after, and I kicked off at the question time about this lad being killed, and I think he was Muslim, and he'd been killed by two black lads or something like that. But you know, it's just like, it's all over, and it's shocking. But you know, there is statistics, and there is facts to prove that a lot of this kind of violence was imported. And you know, I'm Jamaican, me, half Jamaican, but you know, I know a lot about history, and there was Jamaicans at the time that we imported the yardies, and these are the worst of the Jamaicans, and they started these drug things, and it were big in Birmingham and then big in London. And there is facts to point to all this, but nowadays I can't say that. If I say that, I'm being politically incorrect, so I can't say it. But you know, and you know, I've got facts to prove all this. I've got videos of people, Jamaican men, telling you that you've imported a load of crooks and criminals. That's what they said. And you know, but obviously in this day and age, I can't talk like that, but I do on streams. I talk like that. Anything I'm
I
saying.
still don't understand why they don't like legalize tax and fucking sort out fucking cannabis. Like, I'm not into it at all. It's not my thing. I don't want to take it. It's not like, that's up to me. Do you know what I mean? And I don't agree with people taking it that I know. Like, do you get what I mean? If they do, they do. It's up to them. But I don't like it. But I think if they were to actually legalize it and tax it, I think there'd be extra money in the economy.
Yeah.
B, it be regulated. C, it takes a lot of these like gangs off the streets. Not all of them, because obviously some of them get other stuff in, but you know, there's a lot that just sort of specialize in that kind of thing, or just starting out and it's that kind of thing. They'll be gone.
One of our policies, Leah, that's one of our policies, is to legalise it so we can take the control away from the gangs.
Yeah.
Then obviously you take away the knives on the streets because they don't need to be carrying them, because that's one of our party policies. And, you know, it's so bad for drugs that one of our candidates, he lives in London, Covent Garden and Holborn, and they're just, and in Camden, there's just people on the streets during the day just digging in front of everybody. And he wants them all arrested. So he's gone around doing a petition to put pressure on the police to arrest these people so they don't do it so blatantly in public. But no, it's a big issue. But, you know, the deaths from alcohol and cannabis, the death, like, it's nothing. No. Cannabis is like
digging.
What's digging mean?
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you.
Now we know you're going in your flow, but what does digging mean? As in digging, people are digging in London.
Digging, heroin, injecting.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay. Using gear.
Joe's with me and Jackie know, doesn't it? We're both there like, what's that?
I know, but there you go.
I don't either, Jackie, don't worry.
Yeah, so we started our own political party. It's registered with the government. Took us a couple of tries. We did have some semi-professional help to get us on the last bit, but I ended up finishing off the constitution that we have, and you know, I'm just dead keen on local politics, and I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid to talk to police, talk to council, talk to anybody, any door, any colour or anything, whatever at the door. I talk to, you know. But we do have a lot of people now. There's some parties. There's a party called the Homeland Party, and I know for a fact that they would hesitate to knock on a door of someone who's not white. You know what I mean? And I'm like, you're never going to know for nowhere in politics, you know?
You can't do that.
Nowhere like that. But we've got to get everyone involved, and everyone's got to come together as a good community. And we've had them before. But with all this liberal, politically correct, lefty values where everything offends you, it's hard.
Bye, Kitty.
So somebody's leaving, that's all. Kitty's leaving.
Boys' room, just 2 minutes.
Okay, you go to the boys' room. Night, Kitty. Thanks for coming in. God, I remember he said to me earlier, he says, if you want
I'm going to the them room.
No! Don't you bloody dare, you. Git. Bloody them there. Come up the arse.
As long as you don't say you're going to dig your willy out and have a pee.
Oh, you bloody start. You've done enough of that on camera by accident.
Yeah.
He caught out and is like, oh shit.
Oh, don't. I remember when Carrie was doing a show and some kid asked if snakes had willies. So Carrie obviously answered the kid like in the same way that the kid asked the question. And he turned around and he said, yeah, they have too. And this woman got really offended and stormed out and said, you shouldn't be telling the child that. It's like the child asked a question.
What? Yeah, of course. That is fucking dumb. If somebody takes offence of that. Yeah, of course they do.
I know, yeah. The kid asked a question. Obviously, he's been learning about himself. He was like 3 or 4, no, maybe 5. He was little. Yeah. So he just asked an innocent question. Like, he didn't understand it was, like, not really a thing. You know what I mean? I felt so bad for him though, because he started crying because he thought he'd upset like everybody. This little kid.
Some people are just so bloody stupid. Oh, I've taken offence. It's like, fuck off. Grow a backbone. Good grief.
Hey, I don't think we would wish we had two, to be fair.
Come
what
on,
would you do
John.
with the second one?
Yeah, exactly. What would you do with the second one, John?
Actually, I shouldn't ask that. Dave's in chat.
Oh, God, yeah, so he is. Dave, piss off. Oh, no. A share and a spare. Come on, Sue. Don't bloody encourage them.
Oh, no, look. Do they have two willies? Yes. Snakes do have two. They're called a hemipene.
Yeah.
Is that right? What? They have two willies?
Yes, they do.
Yeah. They have two. So it goes as sort of like a straight line, and then it splits off into two nearer the end.
Yeah.
And they can actually use either one during the mating process. They don't have to use both at the same time. They can use either one.
Yep.
So you'll see if also a lot of lizards, all reptiles have it. A lot of lizards, what you'll see is they'll mate on one side, and then a few minutes later they'll mate on the other side.
At least
there we go, just so that you all get a little bit of information about reptiles.
Yeah. Double
Same subject all together.
Yes, Frank. Good.
Oh, God.
So,
should we just talk about animals?
Transgender penis.
How easy
Go both
is it
ways.
to transport your animals?
Say that again.
How easy is it to transport your animals?
Depends on how you're transporting them.
Could you get that some animals like a snake, right? Like, could you travel to Bath in Somerset?
Yeah.
Right. Interesting.
Yeah, they actually get herself and her husband.
We're animal educators, me and my husband. We go around the country and teach people about animals, and we do talks about our snakes, lizards, and different bugs and things like that.
Oh no, we did a bigger brother, like, and we had a coffin and we made people eat mealworms, and we threw a load of bugs on people while they were in the coffin. We was going to get a snake and, like, do like Celebrity Get Me Out, but you've got to put your hand in and then get the tag or the star, they have the red star.
Yeah.
No, I stopped watching that crap a long time ago.
In Bath, my friend Jo and her husband Dion, who's a former two-para. They support veterans and stuff like that, but there's horses and all that. Joe's a professional horse rider along with her two daughters, so they're really big on animals at the farm. But yeah, we did like a bigger brother where we had a coffin and we put bugs on people and all that. Like, it was just funny. It was just funny.
Yeah, we quite often on our channel we do like really silly like challenges and stuff.
Yeah.
We've done like eating different bugs and things like that on the live streams, and that's quite fun. But yeah, you've got to.
I'm gonna love it, mate. I'm gonna love it.
Yeah, I think the problem is that you've got is how to do it safely without an animal getting hurt or distressed.
Of course.
Because once you get into that, you do end up with like people complaining. That's part of the reason that I'm a celebo who gets a lot of shit.
Yes,
I know a lot of people in the hobby really don't like it because of that.
Yes.
We stayed on bugs, but we thought of expanding like Celebrity Get Me. Just like you put your hand in a box and you just got to pick the red star and get out, just something like that. We didn't want to do any like real contact with them unless it were a professional, but like we're just messing around with bugs mostly. But like I said, we go to the farm, they've had pigs, goats, like a flock of geese, a certain kind of geese that they've got a flock of, and like it's like it's about 60% self-efficient, that farm.
Cool.
Oh, nice. That's my dream. That is to have a completely self-sufficient like compound where I have like certain people that I can really trust. So like I got a certain like few people I'd love to have live there with me, and have like animals that we can like fully be self-sufficient, grow our own food, like have everything off grid, all that kind of stuff. But it's one of them things. It's like hard to. You need the money to start it. That's the problem.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Oh God, somebody's
Uh-oh.
coming.
Uh-oh.
No, well, I tell you, Leah, you'd love it at the camp. You'd love it at the camp.
Stop your old whining.
You might be able to
Oh,
dare
don't you
you.
bloody start, Dave.
definitely love it at the camp. My YouTube
Ew,
channel,
yum.
there is some videos where I'm at the camp. I
Yeah,
can't
you sent
do
me
it.
some,
So,
didn't you, on WhatsApp, didn't you? I think you did.
did I send you one on WhatsApp?
I think it
Yeah,
on
yeah, I
WhatsApp.
did,
It
didn't
was one
I?
of them. Let me have a
Wait,
little-
you on about YouTube channel? What's your channel?
Yeah, my YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Jackie, if you've got the link, you can put in chat.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Hang on.
Leo, why is your camera off?
Because I'm laid down on my bed.
That's no excuse. Get it fucking turned on.
I'm laid down on my bed. I can't. Even
All right,
that's
then.
fun.
So
See,
am
I'm
I.
laid down.
Oh,
So
God.
am I.
Will you stop cheating, Dave?
Me and Dave are in bed together. There we go.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Get in
Link
bed with
in
me,
the
Dave.
chat, NHPUK TV. There's
Right.
all
Thank you.
sorts of videos on there, but there is some at the camp. I've been going down for 5 years while we're looking after my mum. I did 5 Christmases there and spent a month down there over this Christmas as well. It's just a really quiet. The nearest main road is like at the top of the farm, and so you can't hear cars hardly. It's just dead silent. You haven't got any like main road near you. Like I live like next to a school and a big main road, so every morning 9 o'clock school time, I can just hear all cow.
Oh, the bloody... I'll tell you, bloody, sometimes
You
I
can't
don't know if it's a lollipop man or a lollipop woman. Bloody hell, sometimes they can be asses.
There is limited caravan spaces, but they have power sockets next to them. But if you come in a camper van, there's room for you in a camper van or anything like that.
Yeah. That's Dave's missus. Hi, Nat.
Hi, Nat.
You right, Chickpea?
What's that?
You okay?
Yeah.
No,
Oh, we're talking to
Matt.
Nat, not Nat.
Nat and Matt. See, it's all the
I
same,
know
isn't
that's
it?
going to get
Well,
confusing.
we're not talking to Dave, we're talking to Nat.
Nat is his other half. Yeah, Dave and Nat. He comes
Yeah.
up on the screen as Mad Max Exotics.
So,
Yeah,
so I
she's
like
the
I like
She's
a
the
bit of
invisible
history
one.
in me as well.
Say that again, John.
I like a bit of history because, like, all we do is get bashed for the transatlantic slave trade. But did you know that the mill workers in Oldham they stopped working to force the shipping companies to stop shipping cotton here? You know what I mean? When we outlawed slavery, because even though we outlawed slavery, they could still come with ships full of cotton here. You know what I mean? And then we had to build a navy to go out and patrol and police everyone and stuff like that. But like the mill workers of Oldham, they weren't treated any much better than a slave. And
I'm halfway there, son.
Because I went to
worked
where
in the
else?
mills.
Saddleworth Museum's got some nice places up there, and it shows you all the stuff on the cotton mills up there. I've actually done a video on that as well. Saddleworth Museum, really good. Shows you all the looms and everything.
I don't think I've seen that one.
Haven't you? Well, then you better get your ass on there and watch it. Otherwise, there'll be trouble, Dave.
Dangerous times. So I mean, they had the little kids who had to put their hands in and
Yes.
put like the shuttle thing on and get their hands out. Wow.
Yeah, because it used to just fly up and down, didn't it? Yeah. And
But,
had the accidents.
I just hate everyone. I just hate people who bash England. Like we've done all bad in the world. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, and it's like factually, like we've been the hub of the Industrial Revolution. People have steam trains and all that because of England and Europe. Our mill, the steam machines that ran the mills in Oldham were specific for Oldham. They were so technologically advanced, and then that travelled out to the rest of the world. It all got made here. the Platt brothers and all that lot all got made here, didn't it?
Jackie, stick it up on screen. You know the rules.
Okay, I'll put it on screen, but still, Leah, fuck off. I am
What's she
I
putting
am
up?
not Twitter.
Put it on screen, Jackie. Come on.
What's she putting on screen?
That.
About Leah saying,
I can't.
no, the membership chat thing. Jackie's
where's
just
Matt
working
gone?
queen.
Matt left us. Has he?
No, I'm not.
No,
Yeah.
he's just in the dark.
Good. You better not be leaving, otherwise you'll be getting a thick ear as well.
Hang on, I can only see 4 cameras. Where is he?
He's in the dark because he's in the car, so obviously he can't have the light on. Otherwise, the police will be coming
can
along
turn
like,
it
oh,
on,
what are you
but
doing?
Not for very
there
long.
he is.
I can turn the light on.
Good. All right, coming on
Oh,
the computer.
See him.
When I get home,
Matt.
I've still got 1 hour and 10 minutes to get home.
Okay,
You know, then we're not in bed.
I don't know. We'll see how it goes. What are you doing over here? Little baby.
Leah's already in bed. She's cheating.
I know.
I'm not
Yes, you are.
asleep. I'm messaging Nat and I'm not getting
I don't let you
replies.
see you as a poop. I said you're already in bed. You're cheating.
Just trying to find a spot.
So,
John,
Leah,
I was going to say a point you made earlier on was about all the cases of female genital mutilation, and I was going to say it's been a big bugbear of mine for a while, but there's a lot of male genital mutilation goes on all around the globe, and it's called circumcision, and I think that's not
Yeah,
on.
you're right, 100%. One of the first guy when I started protesting in Manchester, 2016, I met a Jewish guy who had suffered through it, and then I learned more about more statistics on it and stuff like that. And again, it's a big problem, but again, it involves men. We don't talk about it. It's not a priority to talk about. We just went through all that, didn't we? And you know, like the masculine man just has to put up with it. But no, it's a big issue. I remember the guy. I spent 2 hours with him. We ended up going Weatherspoons and stuff like that. And I was just dead interested, but I didn't know nothing. And you know, like I felt awful. With my mum in Oldham Town Centre, and he had like a marquee out, and it was about violence against women. All right, and you know, like I went over, looked at it all, and I agreed with them and stuff like that. And then I just said, you know, like, what about men? And I didn't mean it like that. I just said to the woman, like, is there a statistic, like, for men who've suffered violence? And, you know, like, they ended up swearing at me, telling me to go. And my mum went mad at them. My mum went mad at them. And she said, you know, like, he didn't say nothing that. He just wanted to, like, ask you some statistics. He's always into facts and statistics. And since then, I've just felt like, on purpose, men are put to the back foot and targeted. That's what I feel like now. And, you know, like I said, I've been through loads of things. I covered the honour violence against that woman. I've supported other women with things to do with courts and stuff like that. I get it, but you know, like it with the fact that like I weren't allowed to talk about it. That's what I felt, and it sort of like really changed my view on how things are like black and white.
I think a lot of that is down with like the whole. So this isn't me agreeing with them at all. Agreeing with like men not being part of it. I think a lot of the stuff with women being like that is because women were so persecuted, because women were so pushed down, because women didn't have rights, blah 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 for so long, that now they think, oh, men shouldn't. And I think that's the wrong way to be. I think the problem needs to be sorted where we're like going, oh, it's either men or women. I think we need to all be together in it and stop fucking fighting each other all the fucking time. Because at the end of the day, we're all human beings. Like I said before, men deal with stuff. A lot of them don't talk about it. Dave's one. He don't fucking talk about nothing. He gets upset and don't fucking tell nobody fuck all. And Terry's the same.
I don't
My
talk about
husband.
me.
No, you don't. And like
they're all
it completely changes the mood of the like men. You can tell when a man's holding stuff in because their mood changes, their whole demeanor changes, and like all it
They just
would
need a
take
piss.
is for them
Just
to
tell them to
let
go to the
that out,
toilet.
get it off their chest, and they'd feel a lot better, but they won't because of these macho ideals. And I air quoted, by the way,
Yeah.
that wasn't.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, she sat down there agreeing with you.
Yeah, and it frustrates
It's the
the
way I've
shit
been
out of
brought up
me.
and the way I was treated. I won't.
It's not okay to tell men they can't cry or to tell men they can't be vulnerable. And like my husband has cried in front of me. He's never cried in front of anybody else, but he's cried in front of me. And you know what, right? That was the moment that I sort of sat there and I went, I love this man more than I've ever loved anybody in my whole life. And that's why we're still together now. And that's because he was able to be vulnerable with me. And it made me realise that
give him a shake, give him an handshake, top man.
Yeah, he's such a good, like he found it hard, don't get me wrong, but I read people quite well, but I give people the benefit of the doubt way too easy. Nat will tell you that because she's always telling me I had a bad feeling about that person, and I'm like, yeah, well, I thought I'd give them benefit of the doubt, and she's like, yeah, but I told you, and I'm like, and Dave as well, he's the same. And I'll give people the benefit of the doubt way too easy. But I can read people, and I know what people are thinking a lot of the time, and I still give them the fucking benefit of the doubt. And when my husband, I knew something that my husband was holding back from me, and I knew it, and he hadn't told me, he'd never given me any like inkling towards it, but I knew it, and I won't say what it is because this is his thing, not mine.
Yeah,
but he told me what it was, and when he told me, like, because I turned around, I just turned around to him, I went, look, I know there's something, I know there is. And I said, I know there is, just please talk to me. And I said, I'm not going to think any less of you. I just want you to talk to me. He told me everything. And you know what? It completely changed him. Totally changed him.
Yeah.
Oh, look at the fluff.
He wasn't going to say it was Jackie Green's got too many spiders that made him cry, was it?
No, he'd be way too excited about getting in bed with Jackie with Terry.
Hey! Anyway.
Yeah,
my husband's a massive on it. Nat, that is awesome. Is that the grey one?
Yeah, she wanted me to show you. She just
she
finished it now.
That. She crocheted it.
Yeah.
Yes,
that's awesome. That.
Yeah, look.
All right, then.
Look how fluffy it is, Jackie. Like, look at it. It's fluffy. It looks like a plushie.
Thank you.
Keep vinyl.
You know, spiders and all that. I've come on and I have seen a dog, but it's all lizards, snakes, and spiders at the moment, and bugs, and you know.
Good boy.
So when we did the bigger brother at the camp, Joe and Dion, they have like 3 pots all with a hot tub, a wood burning hot tub, so you can iron for night. There was a couple there, and then they come down and sat down. So I'm one of the hosts, so I'm running around the box, but I'm getting a bug and flicking it out. And there's a load of kids around us, everyone's screaming and all that. It was just so funny. It was just so funny, honestly.
Oh, I laugh when people scream or get scared about bugs.
Yeah, I do. I think it's hilarious.
Yeah, I don't get it because I've never been scared of anything other than tarantulas or spiders, and then I managed to get over that fear as well, so now I keep them too. But yeah, I can't see being frightened of, like, for example, people are scared of moths or butterflies, and I'm like, why? Exactly. They literally have no actual mouth.
No, they don't.
They have a proboscis, a little thing that pops out. And
that's the whole tongue, isn't it?
Purple and black blanket may take her a while, but she's determined. You can do it, Sue. You can do it.
Oh, yeah, good luck, Sue. I'm terrible. I start and I give up after 5 minutes.
You're fired.
She's doing awesome, Leo. She's got a right bag full down there now.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
That's good.
You're going to have to get a table.
Cool.
I've got 4 spiders and 3 fidget snails, I think.
Do you want me to bring the bits I've got here back for the show?
What bits? You mean the wall?
No, the bits that she's made, so she can see if she can sell them.
But she made it. She didn't
I can bring them back here with me afterwards, and then put them on the store if you haven't sold them. But just for you to try and sell at Bristol.
Yeah, okay then. Thank
I
you.
think
Cool,
Sue
Abuna.
Well, try
approached
something. Then we'll go to Glasgow.
Leah, are you from Bristol area or something?
Leah's Welsh.
No, I'm Welsh. I'm from South Wales, but I've got a mix of an Irish and a Welsh accent, so it's a bit of a mess.
So
Yeah.
are you driving 20 mile an hour?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh
Very
my
is anyway.
Well, my husband does. I don't drive, but yeah. I drive 4 miles an hour because that's as fast as my chair will take me.
It's bloody mad. There's a bloody lunatic, Mark the Spider Guy, who tries running people over on it.
Yeah.
No, he doesn't.
I want to
Jacket. He's
just go
succeeded.
back, Leah was saying about the PIP and stuff like that. And I mean, I looked after my mum for
Oh, sure.
5 years. I'm looking after my nephew now, and through a car accident, he's paralysed. So he's on PIP. It took ages to get it and stuff like that. But I've got big issues with like the service. Like I said, if I would have followed the hospital rules, my mum would have died 3 years ago, and she lasted another 3 years. Honestly, they give her twice. They give her the blue pack. What's it called? The palliative care pack. Twice they give it me, and my mum outlasted the second one by 18 months.
Is that the one where they say they do not resuscitate by any chance?
Yeah, she had a DNR.
Yeah. Yeah, they tried putting that on my mother, and I got told, and I know my son told me, I think my daughter did, my sister definitely did, and it's like, hang on a minute, because my mum she ended up with pneumonia, and she was in hospital then, and it came up, and the thing is, my sister's the carer, but they didn't say a single word to her, and it's like, whoa, really? So obviously, it was either my sister or my son rang up and fucking gave them what for. She got took off it then.
Yeah, well, one time my mum got took in it during the big C, and I was in from morning with her, and she had to have a COVID test, so she had a test. I was still there at dinner time, and the woman the nurse come in with another COVID test. I went, she's already had one. We have to give them 3 to make sure they're not positive. That's what she said to me. I just stood up. Get the doctor. I'm taking my mum home right now. And then got ambulance and took her home. So, like, I'm not being big-headed or anything, but I'm ready to do like a little bit of a series on it. And it'll be watched by loads of people, and I'll slag them off and everything. You know what I mean? And I've been through it, The doctor saying like, well, you have to stop feeding your mum or whatever, and no chance, And she wasn't in pain, but I knew what it was. She had advanced Alzheimer's. I knew her body was going to shut down. But like, you've got to do certain things, and I learned certain things. I learned how the best way for my mum to eat is to be sat up in a chair, as simple as, not laid in bed. And I'll tell you what, you go to a care home, and 50% of the time, if they're not able to get out of bed, more than 50% of the time they're fed and drank in bed, and that's not right. You got to get them into a chair, and they can get an hoist, they can put them in a chair. Obviously, I know some people are going to be difficult with it, but if you follow these things, your mum or whatever lasts a lot longer. But that's how I feel. And the Labour government now, they're acting like the Tories might have done, because I believe the Tories would have brought these kind of cuts in eventually, and Labour are just doing the same. And Keir Starmer, I can't. If anyone votes here, before the election, he said he wouldn't cut the old people's winter fuel thing, and he never said anything about means testing, because I understand it all, mate. And afterwards, he cut it straight away. How can we vote? How can anyone vote for anybody like that? Honestly,
it's not fair at all, because that's like some people's lifeline, and like the price of gas and stuff is just going up and up all the time. And like, I know it came down for a bit again, but like it's still going back up again. And like, people. It literally, they were on about like, oh, you have to choose feeding or eating, or heating or eating. What was it? Heating or eating? Sorry, my mouth. But like, they're doing it to people now themselves. They're literally causing this.
Yeah.
They're causing the thing that they were fighting against. Like, it's just, it blows my brain. It really does. They're just so stupid.
Anyway, I've got big respect for all you Welshies. Anyway, I have. I don't know if anyone knows, but there was a hotel, Straddy Park Hotel in South Wales, that was going to get filled up with like boat people, and the local people, they came out and they camped out and they stopped people going in and they shut the hotel down. And I've got to give you Welshies a lot of respect. I went all the way down there, me, talking to all the people, all the 50 plus people. There weren't nobody there 20 years old. They were all like 50 or over and stuff like that. 2 people even met there and got married. Honestly.
Wow.
So big up to the Welsh, big up to Straddy Park and all them guys in Llanelli.
Cool. Bloody hell.
Yeah, the Welsh are kind of like still holding on to their own government and stuff at the minute, but to be fair, right, the stuff the Welsh government, like, it's not, they are still fighting for us quite a bit. They're doing quite well. Like, I don't know whether things are going to change because they're under pressure from the British, like the main part of the British government, but I know that, like, they've kept the prescription charges. We don't have that. You know, things like that. The doctors and stuff, they've managed to keep them sort of how they were. They're not as bad as over in, well, up in England, like just across the border in England. They're not quite as bad, but they're not far off in that way, I have to say. But yeah, I'm just hoping that we can hold on to it a bit better. But I still don't understand the whole, like, I try not to really follow politics anymore because it drives me flaming mental and I just get angry. So I was kind of up to the point I'm just like, yeah. It pisses me off.
Yeah, it does. Sometimes it can get bloody annoying. Especially when I hear Simon shouting at things, and I don't think he's back
The
on
thing
line.
that annoys me is that, like you said, they can literally say one thing, you vote for them, and they do the complete opposite because they're not held accountable for what they say during the election, and they should be. I think they should be held accountable for what they say.
Yeah, a lot of parties, a lot of political parties want to bring this kind of accountability in. You know what I mean? To hold them to account to what they say. And but really, honestly, there's a few good politicians, but they're all controlled by, and not by British people. They're controlled by the rest of the world and the Freemasons order. They're controlled by them, whoever you think, but they're not controlled by us. So we need to get that power back.
Yeah.
And stand up for ourselves. That's why I want to stand in elections. You know, if I can get an election seat, that's one less that the Labour or Tories have got, and I've done my job. I've done my job. You know what I mean? And I think politics is changing. I'm in Oldham and like Rochdale, Ashton. I've been covering this for the past few years.
Cheers,
so
mate.
you've got reform. You've got Oldham now has got 15 or 16 independents. They've never had that many because of the conflict going on in Israel. But then you've got George Galloway and the Workers' Party. They've been taking quite a few thousand votes. Big fan of George, even though his politics is sort of like opposite of mine. I met the guy. I sat down with him, had a brew and a butty in Batley, and then I did a little interview with him. And just doing something like that with someone, you get to like have a feel. And I like George, but so I think politics is changing. I hope people are voting differently. We need to get someone else in. Not a big fan of Nigel Farage. I used to be, but I'm not now. I just think he's like a bit of a Tory in disguise. And
I think he's pulled out.
Yeah,
I think whoever was pulling the strings has got his string now.
Yeah, his strings are being pulled 100%, Leah. Yeah, I agree.
I was
And,
never a fan of him anyway, because some of the stuff he would say, like about women having to wear skirts, never trousers and stuff, that pissed me off. But because I think that's going way back in time. But the point is, like, I think they do. That's one thing that scares me, is that, like, you vote for a party and the party gets in, and the party then gets the strings grabbed and they're off as well. Do you know what I mean? And it's one of the things that you don't. Are you ever going to be able to have somebody who's uncorruptible in government? Like,
definitely. But keep voting differently, getting independent council in small parties and stuff like that. The in like 10 years, like 10 years ago, there used to be like 150 registered political parties. Now there's 300 and odd. More people getting involved. The independents as well, even though you just see blue and red at the top of the scale and a bit of green, the independence is rising by thousands of % across the country. So it is becoming a bit more different. And I mean, if you look at my YouTube, spend time looking through it, I've covered all the by-elections, gone into detail, showed you the statistics and stuff like that. So things are changing. We just got to get involved. The picture behind me, what is it?
We can't really see it too well because you've gone in black and white because your colour's gone on your camera.
We didn't vote because it won't make a difference, and that is 2/3 of the screen. And then the other third is we voted or whatever. So, you know, got to get a bit more involved, ladies and gentlemen. I really believe that. I do the same speech on every like kind of interview I get into and stuff like that. You know, I'm hoping people are getting more involved. People are getting more involved in politics, and local politics. Even though it's scary looking at them at the top, it's not that scary at a local level, and you can really help your community out and stuff like that. So, you know, and I really believe it. I really believe it, and I've always I really believe that. And so there we go. But please look at me YouTube. There's links to my website and all that on it. Just look through it. If you agree with the stuff that we say and stuff, just follow us and stuff like that. And I'm quite confident that within the next 2 years, I'll have that local council seat. And how can I be so positive? So it's a Hollingwood ward of Oldham. And we used to have a woman called Jean Stretton. She was a Labour candidate. And when she were in, and in the UKIP days, you had to get 2,000 votes to get a seat. Now that the last time we had an election, the guy with the highest amount of votes was 970 and he got a seat.
Wow.
If he can do that, if the statistics show that, then I know I can do it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Well, if we had proportional representation, reform would be in now.
Yeah.
I mean, how unfair is the voting system we've got in the UK?
Yep. Nissan Dory says about Advance UK, he says, look it up.
Ben Habib, I've interviewed him, mate. It's on my channel. Look on my channel. Ben Habib, we've interviewed him. Me, Marcus, and Alan. Me, Marcus, and Alan. So there you go. Look on me, Tube, and he talks a lot of sense. Big fan of Ben Habib. I like Rupert Lowe as well. He's a lot like John Lawerence, straight up, straight out of it. And if you're offended, you're offended.
Alan Sugar for PM, you're fired.
Yes. Nice one, Frank.
Thank you, Nissan. Thank you. Yeah. I like Ben. I'd interview him again. We discussed Oldham, politics in general. We didn't discuss his cut with reform that much, but he did mention it. And you know, I just don't like this day and age now. Leah cannot talk to a certain person down the street because that certain person holds a different kind of view than the council holds. So Leah gets cancelled if she talks to him. And if we learn anything, is that we need to talk to people. Leah said it already. We need to communicate and talk to people. Otherwise, we're never going to go nowhere. If we cut that off, then how do we go forward? You know what I mean? It's just madness, isn't it?
Yep.
Okay. Who muted me?
Me, because you and your missus were gassing while other people were talking. So any more of that, when I next see you getting your ass kicked.
Would you like me to bend over now?
No, because you're down there at Bleak Trafford, so I'm not fucking walking down there. You could piss off.
Well, it's all right. I can come to you for the ass kicks. I don't mind.
Oh, okay. Go on, then. Get in your car. Oh dear.
So, who's from Oldham? Who's in the chat? Anyone in from Oldham in the chat? Which area do you live in? Just give me a thing on which area you live in. If anyone's in Oldham in the chat.
Yeah, you're close in Manchester.
Whereabouts in Manchester?
Eccles at the minute.
Eccles. Is that far from Altrincham?
It's close to Salford, part of Salford.
Right, Salford.
Yeah.
Weren't there a big riot and an arrest in Salford a few weeks ago?
I don't know. I don't watch serial.
Hang on, let me just let me.
Oh, bye-bye.
Okay, he'll be back in a minute.
Let me just
yeah,
gone.
He'll be back in a minute. Hello, Moon.
Hi, Moon.
Anyway, I just thought.
Uh-oh.
Nice.
What's that?
You telling me off?
Yeah.
For talking over people.
Yes. I know, but I
over everybody.
Yep.
It's only just clicked.
God, where was your brain?
Just you wait.
Yeah.
He'll get his own back now, Jackie.
Right.
Oh, I will. She knows I will.
It's all right.
God.
I'm getting some things from your friend. What's he fucking called now?
Dave, have you got any pets? I know you showed that spider earlier on, but do you have any pets?
Yeah, I've got 90 tarantulas, 8 centipedes, 13 scorpions, 2 snakes, 2 rabbits, 2 fish tanks, a little goblin sitting down there.
Do you remember the bunnies?
The bunnies.
Yeah. Although, if that one keeps being a shit, I'll have one bunny because that one will be going in the pot.
You're not eating cats.
Oh.
Yeah, he's talking about his missus because she's a little person, a little lady, but he picks on her.
Yeah, I don't pick on her. Jackie, this is how we keep our love life.
I know you
how
do.
we keep it going.
Oh, fuck you. Shut up, you.
Yeah, Storms, I've got, well, what else have I got? I've got false widows, jumping spiders, trapdoor spiders.
Shall I go?
You?
No,
Oh, no.
you'll be ill.
Yes. Go on then, Leah, since you're dying.
20 snakes.
20 snakes.
18 lizards. 7 cats, 2 dogs, 3, 4, 5 turtles, 1 tortoise. I forgot the iguana as well. There's an iguana, so that was another lizard. I did have rats, but they've just gone to a new home. What else have I got? Oh, bunny.
I've got leaf cutter ants. Sorry. I've got leaf cutter ants. I forgot about those.
Well over 100 tarantulas. I'm not actually 100% sure on how many because I've loads of babies. But I've got well over 100 tarantulas. I've got about 50 odd jumping spiders at the minute. I've got 18 or 19 scorpions, centipede, about 30 or 40 mantises.
Definitely
19
never
different
ever
colonies.
going anywhere near where Leah lives, or Dave, or Jackie at the moment. Too many creepy crawlies. I'm all right eating the bugs with the kids when it's Halloween, him, but I can't do it. I can't. The only interaction I've really had with I've held a few snakes and I've seen loads of lizards. The person who Jackie gets from, I know him well, and I know he's a snake man. But my friend got a snake for his kids, and they were horrible. The kids were always poking it. And when we first got the snake, you know, we had to be careful with it. I was trying to show the kids, you know, how to deal with it and stuff like that. Off what I knew already, like off Kriss. I'm sure he asked Kriss for a bit of advice when we got it, but the kids were horrible with it. And I come in one day and I've gone to like clean the snake and it bit me, and it was a rock python. And I've got a healthy respect for snakes now, and it weren't particularly big, but it bit me. And I knew it was because it were bullied by the fucking kids. So we did get rid of it.
It's probably not just that either. If it was a rock python, they're renowned for being grumpy bastards.
Right, yeah. So that
they are well known for it.
I was the first person with the snake, and we'd had it like a couple of weeks, and it was dead good. It were all right, but I knew that the kids told me that they'd been like handling it too much and poking it around, and you know, like bit me, and I've got an healthy respect to tell you, healthy respect.
Yeah.
The African rock python is the only snake that will actively chase you. They're well known for it over in Africa.
Right.
They will chase you. They are renowned for being grumpy. They grow very large, but they're not the same. They're not like anywhere near Burmese or a retic, but they do get very large. But yeah, they are renowned for it. But I was going to say something. Thingy said that we could open a petting zoo. Well, that's literally what we do. Me and my husband do. Basically, we have basically a traveling petting zoo. We take our animals with us to teach people about them and let them handle them and all that sort of stuff. It's brilliant. It's the best one is when you teach a kid and you see the kid light up. And it reminds me of when I first saw David Attenborough or I first saw Steve Irwin, and when I lit up watching them, and it just reminds me of that. As soon as I see a kid smile at my animals, I'm like, there's another animal lover in the making.
Well, in Oldham, just near where we live, we've got a place called Salmon Fields, and it's just a big pond, and there's frogs in it and stuff like that. And I used to take my nephews down a lot. And one weekend with all the mates, it must have been like newting season or whatever, and we caught about 6 or 7 newts, and the kids were amazed with them. But you know, like I was well in it, me. You know, I ended up taking my socks and shoes off so I could wade in a bit and get around little places where there were loads of reeds, and I knew there'd be stuff there. And but yeah, I've seen that. I've seen them kids' faces light up when they get into stuff. Yeah, I mean, at the camp, when we go to the camp, depending if we've got quite a few kids there, Macaulay, he has an horse, a patchwork horse, but the horse pulls his cart, and he's a bit a cart person like that. But it's got a dead broad flat back, and so then he'll put a kid on it and walk it round the farm like, and get the kids to groom it and stuff like that, and brush it down and stuff. So we do stuff at the camp like that.
That's definitely something people need to do more of, is touch grass. Get out of your house, get away from social media, and touch grass. Just do it. Just go take your shoes off in the middle of a field. Just go to your, even if it's your local play park, and that's the only place you've got that's got grass around you. Go there. Maybe don't take your shoes off so much, but just find a nice
you might stand in something
and just touch grass. Seriously, touch leaves on the trees. Smell the fresh cut grass, the rain. It brings you back to what we are, right? Because we are an animal on Earth. Our social construct isn't just a construct. No other animals do what we do. They have hierarchies and stuff like that, but they don't have what we have. And we need to remember to touch grass. Just let things go once in a while. I think that's definitely a massive thing I remember.
Don't know where the hell Matt went to, so he's not sent us a message. So I'll see what happens in a bit.
He'll be back.
Oh,
in a
just
minute.
looked at my phone and it's not.
Don't worry about him. He'll be fine.
It's a bit freaky.
Shut up, you, Dave. Get in your box.
What? No box can keep me in, I tell you. Craig keeps trying to stick me in a box.
Craig. Oh, God. Bloody hell.
Yeah, Craig.
Yeah, I know, Craig.
He's
Craig's
give up
a
now,
pain.
telling that to put me in the box.
Have you seen everyone's names in the group chat, Dave?
Oh, no. Have you all changed your names?
Donna is subtitles pending.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
That cracked me.
God.
Dave, seen yours?
No, and I don't even want to know.
It's anal lube.
Nah, that's nothing. It's been worse. It's been worse.
Yeah, there has been worse in that group.
Craig is now YouTube's biggest bitch. That was Dale doing.
Oh, my
And
God.
apparently, I'm Terry Slayer.
Ooh.
I don't know who called me Terry Slayer, but apparently I'm Terry Slayer.
Oh.
And Dale is Bristol bitch. I'm just dying. It's
I
cracking me
just
up.
drop into that group every now and again.
Be right back, little boys' room, little they, them's room.
Okay.
Don't say that, they, them. She's going to get battered.
Oh, no. Dale changed his name. Craig wishes he was me. I'm going. Oh, Jesus
Oh,
Christ.
my God.
Did you hear me? I'm coming out of this.
What?
Weird one.
Because you're all weird and you smell funny.
Yeah, I know you
You
are,
are
Dave.
coming out of Bristol. I don't care.
Oh, right. He wants you to go to one of the other shows.
No, we're going to Bristol show, and Dave's saying doesn't want to come out the night before.
Oh.
Yeah, because they're all weird and smell funny.
He says this when we know full well Dave's going to be the first one head down on the table.
Pissed off.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'm missing all the fun action.
I know, yeah, I'm missing. I've got my pound ready anyway. Fucking right.
Oh, my days.
I've
Hey,
got my pound ready for this.
I'm not being left out. Where's my 50p?
You dropped out yourself.
I said I'm not being left out.
Let me just find
You said
something.
it's not going to be next time, so you dropped out yourself.
You need to find out another 50p because I'm not being left out.
Women.
I'll give him 50p. There you go.
You're still on
You
mute,
give
John.
me 50p. No, I was sat there chuckling to myself. Well, it's my turn to wind you up for the change.
You can't wind me up.
Oh, can I not?
Oh, don't you? Don't. No, because he'll probably send you pictures that you don't like.
That's okay.
She
Bring
does-
it, Dave.
She does like the pictures.
Huh?
What?
She doesn't
What?
like what? What?
I said
know
she
what
does like the pictures.
Uh-huh.
He still owes me photos that he's never sent me.
You've not paid 50p.
Don't need to pay 50p. You owe me.
Okay, what have you two been up to? Fucking weirdos.
I don't know.
I just like winding him up.
Oh, God.
Oh, this is
She tries to
literally my
wind me
entire
up.
conversation.
You are?
So, me and Dave had a 20-minute conversation about how the butler from Lara Croft Tomb Raider was going to eat him. And it was a whole conversation, right?
Oh, God.
Granted, 90% of it was from me and him just going, no, no.
Oh, my God, yeah.
Gotta wind up as part of the fun.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Oh, yeah, definitely, indeed.
That's why I always wind Jackie up.
Yeah, but Jackie's easy to wind up. She just calls you a bitch.
Yeah.
I like when Jackie calls you a bitch. It's funny.
Yeah. And there's no drinking on my birthday this year.
Why?
I don't
Oh,
know.
what?
Oh, your lives are
The
funny when
baby?
you drink.
It's my birthday today, and I've been on brandy for past like hour and a half. So
Fair. Happy
Oh,
birthday.
happy
I
birthday.
didn't say that yet. So happy birthday.
When it was my birthday, we went through a full bottle of mead, a full bottle of JD, and some other various drinks. And then you see videos of me lying on the fucking floor.
Because she broke her chair.
Yeah, it fell off my
And
chair.
then the year before, she got so drunk, she went off her life because she didn't know how to get back on and left a fucking 16-year-old boy in charge of her whole life who decided to become the biggest troll that anybody's ever met because he thought it would be funny. Somebody called him a 12-year-old girl, so he turned around and he went, I might sound like a 12-year-old girl, but I have the brain of a 55-year-old quiz genius. Oh my god, I nearly fell off my chair. I was dying. That is the funniest thing I've ever heard anybody say.
Oh god.
Oh, I miss Thomas. He was funny. When he tried to stick the squeaker
I
up
miss
Mouse's.
that. Oh, no.
Yeah, it was before you were on. We didn't know who
Yeah.
you were.
It's still on Jackie's channel.
Oi, it might end up getting set to private.
No, it's funny. I did record it once,
She's going to
but I
put a
deleted it
child
off
at
the
the
phone.
drinking video.
No. Oh god. Some bloody bizarre things to get up to. And then everybody was like was saying, oh, everybody used to just do stupid 24-hour bloody live streams. Get Simon a hoist for your next birthday. No, Frank. Besides, I'm in a better chair. I'm not in the other chair anyway. Because I know on one birthday, my other computer chair, I broke it. I know that. I killed that one off. And it's like, shit, what's happened to my bloody chair?
Oh, I'm doing a live.
None of you on TikTok.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're on TikTok, right?
Yeah.
Right. That's a good place for lives, but I mean, you got to be careful now. Last year, so I've been looking after my mum since just beginning of the big C, and at that time I just started the party, so I thought about it, and I didn't have anything monetized. Didn't have my YouTube monetized, even though I could. I never monetized any other social media. Then last year, August, no, before that, July, they asked me to send me bank details in, so they could check my bank statements.
Oh, yeah.
And, but I mean, why that happened is because I'm very prominent on social media. I do streams. Like, people have reported me, probably the left or whatever, have reported me. But I didn't have anything monetized because we were looking after my mum. But so I handed in my details. But so you got to be careful now. You got to be careful. People do earn money off social media, but you've got to really be careful, people. If you've got an enemy or someone who don't like you, they'll report you, and then you'll get in trouble off DWP. And it's happening all across the country.
It's silly, isn't it? It really is silly.
They've already looked into mine, and I showed them all my bank statements. I said, "Yeah, I'm not earning that much," and they went, "No, you're all right."
No, you don't really make that much, even though you got that many bloody. Go on, sorry, Matt.
No, so I've already been through that with one of the idiots. So
I've always been really transparent with what I get. I get 20 quid a month, and that goes straight on paying for like StreamYard or whatever I need to pay for. I've stopped paying for StreamYard lately though because I haven't been able to afford it. But I haven't really been making 20 quid a month. But it is what it is.
They changed the prices a bit, didn't they? Because I've been on StreamYard, me, like 5 years or something. It started off, and then they changed the price, but they said then you can get so much for this, and it's a bit difficult at the moment. But I mean, I struggled sort of like the end of last year, with my payments, but I've made regular payments to them for a few years. But I stream to YouTube, 2 or 3 Facebook profiles or pages. I stream to X, formerly Twitter, VK. I can do I can do any platform more or less, but it's 8 channels I do, something like that. So
bloody hell.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
But I'm looking for,
yeah, that's
so, by the way, I'm looking for a social
okay.
media manager if
Oh, yeah,
anyone's
that's-
interested.
Say that again, John.
So I need we need a social media manager. I need a social media manager.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I'm a leader of a party, and the streams and that they take a lot of time to do and set up and stuff like that. And you know, like I do 2 streams a week, but I do need a social media manager. And you know, everyone has one. Any top Mertusi has 2 or 3 social media managers.
Bloody
You know
hell.
what I mean? They all have them.
What were you saying, Dave?
I said that or not has been in with the female all day.
Nothing?
Bloody hell.
Again. Yeah. They were both chapping. She come out, and then when I went back in there, I can't go back in the hide, so I don't know.
Have they
How's
done
the centipede doing?
deed?
Oh, still good. Still good. Still good legs.
Yeah, go on, Matt.
With a social massager, if anybody wants a job.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I just look. You're
Just pull
you're
right down and see
yeah,
you.
aren't you, Matt? But even though people see it a lot, you don't make that much. It's just silly.
And it halved what little I was getting. It halved when the apocalypse happened. Anyway, it's like it's next to nothing now.
Listen, if you can do streams like this, you should be on TikTok and do like bits of shows on TikTok. It's definitely the newest thing. You know what I mean? I'm quite established. Me, I've got like short of 5,000 subscribers, so I'm monetized, and you know I get some money in that. But TikTok is the one if you want to earn anything or do something. And animals are big on TikTok as well. I'm surprised you're not doing a show on there.
Oh yeah, I got TikTok. I've got some shorts on there. I've not done a show yet, but I have been invited to do a live on TikTok.
You're live on there with me, Jackie.
Yeah,
I do them now.
Okay.
Your twerking videos will do better if you got a skirt on, not shorts.
Shut up. I like my pants. I am comfortable in a pair of, even if I'm wearing a pair of 3/4 part shorts or jeans, I'm comfortable.
I'm not doing too bad on TikTok. Like my TikTok's sort of I'm on 2,133 followers at the minute, so it's not too bad. I've been doing it for a while though, but I'm nowhere near regular enough to be able to like go anywhere with it. I maybe post once a month if I remember.
I think I put something on today, but it's just one of the cats because the cat's wearing a wizard's hat.
See, I get a bit bored of just constantly putting up loads of pictures of videos of my bloody spiders. I want to put the other stuff up. But me and Terry Terry's always busy, so he can't really help me. And I can't go take the snakes
as well. Is he just doing 4 days a week? Because he managed to get that day off?
He's doing 3 now, 3 days a week, because he's caring for me the rest of the time. But obviously we're trying to make a go of it with the thing as well. Yeah. But it's hard work, do you know what I mean? It's hard work to get it all done, and then I need, because I'm getting help, possibly getting a PA.
All right.
So that'll be really good, because if I can get a PA sorted out, he's gone again.
Yeah, he'll be back.
That'll help me out a lot, because I can get a lot more stuff done during the day while he's at work, or he's doing other. It gives him a break then as well.
PA's at work.
Yeah, for the business stuff.
Yeah,
it's all done through
access.
No, for me, for access to work for being disabled, because I'm working with them. Well, not through them directly, through partners to access to work. It's like a charity based around access to work. Because access to work is so hard to do. the system is so hard to get involved in and get them to help you that they now had to have a charity to help you to do it.
Hell. It's confusing. I need to open these sliders afterwards.
Well, they expect you. Bear in mind, you have say you want to go in and have a business, right? You want to start your business, and you need help from Access to Work. You have to have been able to, right, have your entire CV, your entire business plan, and have the makings of the start of your business ready to go before they will help you. Now, if that's somebody who has mental issues or mental health issues or learning difficulties, at what point are they getting that done without the help?
Jesus.
So that's why this charity stepped in. They're trying to help, but they're really good. It's just I need to try and decide whether I really want to go ahead with it before I say yes, because I've got to try and work out whether I can handle.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's not
where's the
like
angry hobby?
your kids are getting older, so you are going to eventually want to do something because of your Alexa. She had a prom, so I mean,
Yeah, I want something for my life. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to sit here for the rest of my life and rot, but also my health isn't great, and now I've got psoriasis due to stress, which I've never had before in my life. It's all because of stress. So
yeah.
it's like, how much is this going to do to my body? Like, what is the stress going to do? Because if I never thought I would get psoriasis from stress. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's something that I would never have even thought of, and it happened. So what else is going to happen is what I'm panicking about. So I don't want to end up starting it and then having to abandon it and feel like I failed. So that's the only thing. Dave, why are you talking about you got chicks in your freezer?
Because you're on about chickens.
Yeah, baby chicks. Yeah, I need to get some at some point, but I haven't got any.
Where's the angry hobbit?
Pardon?
Oh, angry hobbit. He's by there.
The angry hobbit.
He lay on the bottom of the bed. I think he wants to go to bed.
Oh god, a bloody angry hobbit.
This one's curled up on the floor.
Oh.
What's this? Hobbits are us.
Yeah, me and Dave both have our own hobbit.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the first thing I said. I was like, where the fuck's the rest of you, Terry?
You okay, love? Terry? All right?
Is he in work tomorrow?
No, he's off, but we've got to build a catio tomorrow.
Boy. Ooh, you should video that. That'd be interesting, you know. As long as you can cut out Jeffing and Jeffing from Terry, you'd be fine.
Yeah. Well, we've gone and bought a load of wood, so we're going to build like 4 square panels. And then obviously put them with, we're doing a chicken wire, but it's a plastic chicken wire, plastic coated, like the rubber coated wire, so it doesn't rust. Because obviously I don't want rust for my cats. And then they'll have like loads of like ledges and stuff. Whether or not we'll get the ledges done tomorrow, I don't know, because I don't really have much flat wood at the minute. I only have a little bit left. But I want to at least get the square done, get the litter trays out there, and get at least somewhere for, like, I want to get a little Wendy house for them to be able to go in and I'll put like some little beds down. So, and then it just means we can shoo them out of the kitchen, like when we're trying to cook and stuff, because otherwise they keep trying to steal our food. Little buggers.
Yeah, you do have a bit of grief with the cats, but we want to do
I don't allow my cats to wander free because there's people that want to kill them. B, there's loads of things that want to kill them, and especially around here we have like red kites and stuff. And on top of that, then also they're a danger to wildlife.
Yep.
So keep them in. At least if they go out in the garden, hopefully the smell of the cats will deter any rats or anything from the garden too. So that's great.
Yep. Cool. It's all right. If Terry does really, really well, we might just kidnap him and he can do some jobs for Simon. Because Simon's crap at DIY. I used to do DIY until I fucked my wrists up. But Simon, it's just like, no.
I used to do DIY.
It's like, no, I've had enough. I'm going to kill him.
I used to do all the painting and stuff. Terry used to wallpaper, but I used to do all the painting and I get him to like do like the up high bits, but you know, I used to do all the bottom bits and all that stuff, and we do it a 50-50 and
Yeah.
not anymore though. I can't do it anymore, so it's all on Terry, bless him.
Right, you know what, guys? I'm going 20 past 12, and I'm up early tomorrow. I'm out for the day, getting a bit of a birthday meal off me mate. So
Oh, enjoy.
So I will. But it's been lovely talking to everyone. Thank you very much for getting me up, Jackie. I'll watch out, and I'll definitely get on TikTok. Honestly, this kind of chat on TikTok will do well.
Yeah, it probably would.
And
I know.
That's one place I ain't never going.
No TikTok.
I know, Matt. You don't like it.
and then all your snakes and tarantulas and all that, it'll do well on TikTok. But it's been great. Thank you for listening to me blabbling on about political stuff, and I think we covered loads of stuff tonight. But you know,
definitely.
My final thoughts is like, obviously we've done things in the past, but we're beyond that. We've got to look to the future. I don't think England is inherently racist or anything like that. I don't think that. I think that the English people and the British people are like some of the most accepting in the world of all kinds of people. That's what I personally think.
Yes.
What do I think? My dad was Jamaican, come over on Windrush, and everyone always says that I emulate him or I'm like him with my values and the way I talk and stuff like that. And my dad wasn't anti-British. He come here to knowing that he'd be able to have a good life, become very privileged, be able to work, get an education and all that, and start a great family, which he did. And England and England is demonized. It is demonized by the rest of the world, honestly. And we need to get a bit of control, sort our politicians out. Obviously, they're all paid off by everyone around the world, influencing their decisions on what happens. And because of that, we're in all these wars, and we've had all these wars. That's how I believe it. And if you don't believe me or not, that's sort of like how it is. But thank you very much. Please subscribe to my channel. Any questions or anything like that, there's an email there, and I'll watch out for channel. I'll definitely come on again. Definitely.
Yeah, it's all right. I'll kidnap you again at some point, John. I remember you, Dad. I remember you, Dad, and I remember your mum anyway. So, is he gone?
Don't know where he went. Hi, John.
Oh yeah, he might be his nephew, because his nephew might need some help because, like, he.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There he is.
Yeah. Right. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. God bless you all. Love you all, and I'm never gonna go near Leah's house, JG's house, Dave's house. Never ever going near him with that many creepy crawlies and all that. And leaf cut. He didn't just say ant. He said leaf cutter ants. You know what I mean? And I'm like,
no, them leaf cutter ants are awesome.
They are awesome. I could watch them for hours and love eating leaf cutter ants.
Right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, John. You take care, dude.
Hi, John. Take
it
easy.
Everyone.
All the best, John. All the best, John. Cheers.
Yeah. So there
you know what? It was really nice chatting to him because, like, even if there was any differences, he's very respectful in the way he speaks.
He is. I've known him, like I said, me and him and a load of us used to all hang around as teenagers, and all the shit that, we never did anything like all the kids do today. It's like,
it's nice when you can have a debate with somebody or a conversation with somebody that even if you have different views, you can continue the conversation rather than it ending in an argument.
Oh yeah,
that's the best thing ever. I love that. That is definitely something.
I like to have a mass debate.
Oh God, he's off.
For God's sake!
Oh come on, Matt. Will you mind?
Mass debate, debate with a lot of people. What are you on about?
Yeah, I know you too well. Oh my God.
Please, with me and Dave on here, that was never going to be taken as a non-dirty comment.
Yeah, exactly.
No. What do you mean?
Right, I'm going to jump off
You're the
too
one that's
because
not
my
me.
darling husband is falling asleep on the bottom of the bed.
Yeah,
And I
so
think
cool on the
Dave is
floor.
probably going to go too because I think Nat is falling asleep on the floor because she's a crazy person. Woman, get off the floor before you end up in more pain and get into bed.
Oh, God, yeah.
You
And
can't
yeah,
till I clear everything up here.
I got
Well, then clear it then, Dave.
He's
that's
got one of these
clear.
big armchair twists to get meat on as well. Oh, it's awesome.
Oh, you both got
You can
one.
wrap up. Oh, look at that. I've got a blue one.
Oh, I might have to get one of them because mine's starting to lose its
Oh,
thickness.
Leo,
I've been told them.
it really is awesome.
I've been told.
£3 and super comfy.
It's a big pillow with it's like two legs. Look.
Pillow.
It's a pregnancy pillow. Now I've got an excuse, right? I need one of these pregnancy pillows because I have a fat belly because I bought a beer to drink.
So you're pregnant with beer?
You haven't got a fat belly. There's fuck all to you, Dave.
Yeah,
Right.
it's called
You
I
know
know,
it.
do you know
Send
what,
me the
Jackie?
link
No
and
matter
I'll
how
message
long
you in a bit, okay, Check?
I've got no belly. Jackie said there's nothing to me.
No, there isn't.
There isn't.
Thank you. Jackie.
There is nothing. And
Where's my
don't forget, I seen you in Wigan and there's fuck all to you.
There's nothing to him. No, I just like taking the piss out of him because it says
Yeah.
he's got a pregnancy beer belly. So I said, yeah, he's got a beer belly, like he's got a pregnant with beer.
Yeah.
Yeah, the baby.
What?
The baby's
Yeah.
called Keg.
Yeah, the baby's called Keg.
Called what?
Keg.
Keg.
Yeah.
Nat, I'll message you, okay?
Oh,
Okay.
dear.
Someone's nicked me sick.
Never
No,
mind. You
someone's
didn't
nicked me
need
sick.
it.
I can't hear her. Right, love you all. Bye.
Bye, Leah.
Bye.
Right. Is Dave going as well since his little short person needs to go to bed too?
Yeah. Unfortunately, I will have to because she is really tucked up on the floor here.
Oh, dear.
Like a little dog in my push bed.
She's like a dog in a dog bed.
Yeah. A little angry chihuahua.
You definitely are a chihuahua.
Oh, dear. But you can fit in small places, Nat. Tiny.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me on, Jackie. Anyway, unfortunately, I do have to go. Otherwise, I would have stayed, you know, I would.
I know, Dave. It's all right, mate. You take care. Night, night.
Jackie.
Go and get this one in bed.
Bye-bye.
Good night, all.
Bye. Dave hasn't left yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has. Hey, down to 2. Is Matt still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Cute. Yeah, sometimes it's nice having different people on. Definitely. I don't know how much you heard of all of it, but there you go.
I heard most of it, but I did lose signal when I was coming from Newbury to Marlborough. There's a bit of a blank spot, so I lost a bit of it. But yeah. All good.
Yeah, so yeah, he does have his websites and everything like that. I still can't get over he just turned 58. It's like, fucking hell, where did that go? Bloody hell, yeah. God.
I'm looking at a lovely half moon, a gibbous moon.
Oh, cool. Yeah, there's meant to be a full moon in a few days, isn't there?
Yeah, it's massive in the sky. It's weird, isn't it? How it sort of it gets bigger and smaller. You know, like it's on the horizon now. It's massive.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
I just like sometimes I just like zooming in on the phone so I can see so close. You can, it's like wow. And apparently they're meant to be enhancing this phone again to make it even, more magnetic. And where you can zoom in even more, and it's like wow. No, I don't want to see your ass, Dave. I don't want to see your full moon. Go on, sorry.
Where is he? He's not on the chat.
No, he's in chat. He says, I'll show you a full moon. I just don't want to see Dave's ass. It's just scary.
Yeah.
Oh, dear. So, how old is this dog that you're looking after?
8 years old.
Ooh.
And
So
he
he's
needs
not.
a good brush.
Oh.
He's molting and he's going to get a brush.
Yeah.
Not tonight, but tomorrow. He's
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
be brushed up so he looks proper because he's got bits hanging off.
Bloody hell. Well, he's going to be, getting rid of the winter coat for summer. So, you know, he needs it. Bloody hell. No.
Yeah. But he
That's
should be
cute.
all right because I know how to brush him so they don't really feel it, you know. But he's going to be coming off in clumps, I know.
Oh. So, is he doing all right in the car?
He's all right, yeah. I mean, let me turn the light on so you can see him. You see him?
Oh, yeah.
Here he is. Hello, Zen.
Oh.
Good boy. Good boy.
He is doing well then. That's good. I wouldn't be surprised you could smell Angel.
Yeah. Well, it's a dog-friendly car, this one. He's got his big
It
square
is.
space where I've taken the seats out, you know. So he's apparently he's not very good in cars and he'll be sick and, you know, things. But I bet it's because he's been sitting up on the seats. And, you know, dogs don't know where to place themselves on small
No, they
seats,
don't.
so it's quite stressy. I think he's better off down there. He's not been seeing too many car headlights, you know, and
Yeah.
it's better for him to not, you know, just be in his little open zone. So,
That's good.
and he should enjoy the air conditioning I've got in my place. So,
Oh, yeah, I bet.
it's cool.
I bet he will.
So
It'll be nice and cool for him.
I'm going to put a bed outside my door like I did for Angel, and a bed down at the bottom of the stairs so he can have his space if he wants it.
Yeah.
I'm going to take him out for a walk when I get back now.
Yeah, it'll be nice and cool for him.
Yeah, just take him around the block so he knows where he is, sort of thing, and then come back home and he can chill out then.
Yeah.
He hasn't been fed this evening because we were worried he was going to be sick.
Oh,
So
yeah, can't sick.
Yeah, I'm going to give him his meal for this evening.
Yeah.
And then that's it.
So, yeah, that's cool. Well, Storms, Barry Storms is saying hello to you.
Hello.
And Frank Triggs is saying he looks happy. And he's also said he'll get spoiled rotten with Matt. I bet.
Well, he's very gentle. Like Angel was quite boisterous. She'd jump up on you and she'd, you know, claw you and things like this. And you know, this one takes food very gently out of your hand. You know, like really gently. So he's got some manners to him. You know.
That's good. Yeah. That's really cool. It's good when they're a little bit more laid back. But obviously, each to their own, isn't it? Each individual.
Yeah. So hopefully he's going to be quite chill. I took him out for a quick. When I lost the signal, I stopped, pulled over, and let him out.
Yeah.
And we both had a bit of relief. Let's put it like that. You know.
Yeah, both went to the bathroom.
Yeah. But yeah, he's been quite. He's just been sitting there, really not looking like he's stressed at all. Yeah, you're right. This is Zen. Good boy.
Oh, that's pretty good then. But then, how many times has he actually met you as well?
Yeah. Now I'm going to put some fuel in actually because I'm running low, and I'm just going past the garage. So bollocks, I'm going to go in.
Yeah, good idea.
It's cost about 50 quid to go up there. Oh.
What's the dog called? Oh, right, you're taking your phone, aren't you?
Well, yeah, I'll put it in my pocket. Sneaky, but shouldn't really. But it'll probably go off if I put it in my pocket, but I'll try.
Okay. I'm going to be calling it soon anyway, but I'll wait until you come back.
Yeah, well, I'm just, you know, I'm about 15 minutes away from my house now, so yeah, you'll have finished by the time I get home, and then I'm going to take him straight out.
Yeah.
I'll show him the house first, and take him out for a quick walk. And then,
Yeah. You'll enjoy a nice cool walk.
yeah. He's looking around now. He's like, oh, who's outside the car? What's he doing?
Just about here, Matt.
Yeah, sorry.
It's all right.
Yeah. So, yeah, we'll be back home and I'll probably be off to bed quite soon when I get back because it's a long old drive. It's been a good 5 hours.
What's he called?
Zen.
Zen. That's a nice name.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Zen.
To go and get something or just go over and make something, I think. Yeah. £20. All right. On that one back there. Thank you. Thanks very much. Cheers.
Yeah, Nissan. Yeah, he definitely does seem to have a lovely temperament. Definitely.
Oh, sorry, man. Sorry.
Seeing scary
Bumping into
people.
people. Bumping into people. Look, I got my Malamute
T-shirt on.
bum snippy T-shirt. Yeah.
Hi.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Where's Mr. Zen then? Where's Mr. Zen? Hello, Mr. Zen. Hello.
Oh.
Oh, the baby. You good boy. What are you doing then?
Oh.
What are you doing? Oh. You good boy. Do you want a treat? Or everything else
Do you know the
yourself
word
inside the
treat?
car? What is it?
Oh.
Add this treat.
Oh.
There we go.
What a good
Yeah.
boy.
Yeah.
Oh, he is only a baby, definitely, but yeah, 8 years old is middle aged, really. But just over
Yeah.
it.
He's a bit. I think he's a bit of a softie. Apparently, he likes cuddles and he likes being made a fuss of, and he lets you know if you stop fussing him. He's like, more, don't stop. So I'm gonna see if he wants to jump on the bed on my big Malamute thing that somebody got me. I think was it Melissa or you or somebody got me.
No,
a
it would
big
have been
Malamute
either
thing for
Melissa.
my
It would
bed.
have been me, Melissa, possibly.
Yeah. So, see if he wants to jump on the bed later on. He's more than welcome.
Yeah.
Angel wasn't much for that. Towards the end, she couldn't really jump up much, so she just kind of used to, stay downstairs, come up occasionally if I had food. But towards the end, I think she couldn't really get upstairs properly. So wasn't
Poor
something she
girl.
was into. But yeah, she used to jump on the bed when she was younger. But
Yeah.
yeah, she's a bit of a loner, to like go downstairs, be on her own, and if the food was going, then she was like right there then. But yeah,
Yeah.
but that was her thing, she was a bit like that, sort of like give me my space.
But that was her personality, because that's why they're all individuals at the end of the day. So that's how they are.
Yeah.
Because not all dogs are the same. Even with cats, not all cats are the same. I've got some cats that be like, come near me, you're going to end up getting seeing my paw across you. That's one of my cats. She's a bit funny like that. But then I've got other cats that's like, no, I need kisses all the time. And it's like, oh my God, no.
Yeah.
Very, very needy.
Yeah, when I got back in the car earlier on, he gave me a little kiss.
Oh.
So like, yeah, he's like, oh, you came back in the car, I'll give you a kiss. I'll be your friend. Yeah.
Bloody hell.
So,
yeah, it's all right, Frank, because I'll be going in a bit anyway, mate, because I've got to, I don't know whether I'll rehouse these tarantulas tonight. I've got 2 little baby tarantulas that I got off someone, but I mainly got to spray my jumping spiders, find out where my bearded dragon's gone, because she's either gone to bed or she's wandered off somewhere, because I just leave her to roam around the room because it gives her exercise. And feed the frog. It's the joys. But I don't mind doing it because I find it relaxing. Whereas other people are like, oh, how do you do it? It's like, you have to be so relaxed and so calm. So that's what I like about it. You've got to be calm. If you start that's it, then they will react to you. So it's one way to be really, really calm. And yeah. I could say it gets quiet in here, but then you've got the exception of the crickets and that.
The quack quack.
Oh, sod. I'll feed you in a minute. Bloody frogs. Yeah. It's worse when two of them, because there's two of them that do it. The other one doesn't. And when they're both at it, and it's like, and then you hear the other one, it's like, for fuck's sake, here they go.
Yeah.
It's funny, though. It really is funny. And I'm getting watched by the same one. I always get watched by the same one all the time. It's funny. Because they know they're getting fed soon. Because it's a routine and people don't realise, animals, even frogs, recognise a routine. I feed them at night and then they get the water changed because they're sitting in the water because I've got a biggish bowl. And then I spray them a bit as well. And they know.
Yeah. Well, this one apparently gets fed in the evenings. No, I used to always feed Angel in the morning, but we'll see. We'll see how he gets on.
Yeah. See, it depends on what your schedules are. If you're going places as well, because if you're going to be back late, sometimes you need to do it.
Yeah. That's going to be interesting because the next month, really, I'm not going to feel very comfortable about leaving him on his own. So next month, I'm probably going to have to be not really going out for explores. So we'll have to see.
Yeah, because I know what you mean, because he's in a different place. It's away from basically his mum and dad. His people, he's part of his pack. So
Yeah.
So he's going to feel a bit.
Have to kind of curtail my activities, or if I do have to go somewhere for a couple of hours, then I'll have to speak to the neighbour and sort of introduce him to her and say, like, can you just do what we did before and pop in, make sure he's got some water, let him out for a pee and things like that.
Yeah.
But my intention is not to actually leave him, so we'll see how it goes. Or if I'm going somewhere, take him with me in the car for a ride, and then pop in and out of somewhere very quickly, but not leave him. I can't leave him in the car anyway because of his heat.
Yeah, too much heat exhaustion, and obviously it's like a bloody instant hot box, isn't it?
Yeah. So we get some bad spots down here for signals. So I you may lose me as I go back to the house. So
yeah. Well, it's all right. We're going to pat this in a minute anyway. But I'll just read what's been said. B says you can do dog uploads, and Sue Lynn's has put Matt will be in his element with Zen, can do walk videos. So there you go.
Yeah.
Because that would be nice.
I could actually, yeah.
It would be pretty cool because you can just say, well, I'm looking after somebody's dog and we are doing this. So that will be pretty cool. Yeah. Right, everybody. It is coming up to 1:15. And I think I've been on for long enough. And obviously Matt's going to get home, get all the stuff together for the dog. Because obviously it's going to be stuff that he's been packed with. Obviously seeing around the house. So it's going to be a lot of frapping around. And like you said, you probably lose signal from where you are in the middle of the sticks, near enough. So I'm going to say good night to everybody. And I'm going to say thanks for John Lawerence for coming on, for Dave and Nat. Well, we heard Nat in the background and Dave just being a pest. For Leah and obviously Matt himself and Zen the dog. So it was nice for everybody to come on. Hope everybody has a good night, no matter, or good day or afternoon, wherever you may be. You all take care. Much love to you all. And I'll be looking forward to seeing your videos with the dog as well, Matt. And I will catch you all later. Night.
Thanks, everybody. Night. Bye.
Bye.